Saw he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
I know. I saw the Ryder Cup score and I heard it from prison. We're gonna.
Yeah, that's bad.
Hey, put your shoes on.
We're getting Blake
Golfer.
Snell 4-0. Oh, there's a
Gator.
There's a golfer in the
water,
the pond. I always like about these Ryder Cup. You can't see. We don't know who the golfer is yet. Oh, it's Colin Morikawa, and he is hitting one out of the marsh, the Scott Marsh.
Yeah, I don't like his odds here.
1 foot. Oh,
wow, actually airborne.
And he hit it over the green.
Point shaving.
Way over the green. Now, what I always wonder is, did he? Okay, nope. See, for me, not only would the ball have not gone anywhere, but I would now be covered in mud.
Yeah, and then the whole process of not the best shot. Now you got to put your socks and shoes back on.
Yeah, it's
take it to the clubhouse and get a drink.
I love the Ryder Cup so much, and
the game of golf.
I hate that this is what we're looking like. We're waking
You're
up.
embarrassed.
I am embarrassed because I didn't get to see that. We're coming in halfway through,
and we're done.
And we're getting destroyed right now. What is it? What is this? We're looking. I read this. Only the second win in Europe over 30 years or so, or the first win, or I don't know, something like that.
At this point, not looking good.
No, it's not looking good. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Hey, it's good to be with you. It is a Friday. It is Friday, September 29th, and our trainings are done.
Yes. Oh, I didn't fill you in on my
no.
I had the PM training.
Yes. What was it? You and like one person?
It started with one other person when I walked in, but I was like a few minutes early. It was like I didn't know what to do, so I'm like, I'll just go in there. And literally, the crew that has been here doing a great job for several days, kind of looked and said, "Hey, just to let you know, I think we're gonna call this, just because there's not that many people." And then like two more walked in the door, and then he's like, "Well," and then like two more is like, "Well, okay." And I was like, oh my gosh, lock the door.
No, and you almost got out.
And then I think, but here's the key part is I could tell they were spent.
Yeah.
So
wanted.
I think basically then there's probably at the end maybe total of 7, 8 of us maybe because a few more straggled in. But they basically said we're doing a speed version. We got about a 30-minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you kind of
it worked out.
That's a one time where procrastination paid off.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, we were in the
but I stayed and did my own training.
He got this is mostly promotion, so you don't have to worry about this.
You'll never do this. I'm like, well, what if we do?
Oh, where was that with us? We didn't get that one.
But
we
I
got
will
promotions
say,
people with us.
You guys crushed the pizza.
We did, and props to them.
There's like 9 boxes of empty pizza left.
Yeah, we got a big vat of Costco pizza.
Yeah. None left.
Yeah, huh?
Called it.
Yes, you did. And
you ate it all.
I had 2 pieces, but as I told you on the phone last night, the first slice it was still too hot and melty, and so I take a bite, and the entire top of the cheese came with me, so I look like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And I had to use like 9 napkins to wipe my chin of sauce. Hi, how you doing? And it was fine. It was good. It was great. It was wonderful.
Were you called to the front of the class?
I was, but about a quarter way through, to their credit, our main head lawyer Jason said, "Is the smell of that pizza? That's just torture for you guys. Why don't we take a 5-minute break?" Well, at first he said, "Let's just all get up and get a piece, and we'll continue." He tried to continue. He's like, "All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break." So I got up, I got my pizza, and then I turned around, and one of our sales managers had plopped down in my seat next to the big boss.
Oh, score!
And I was like, "Oh,
freedom!
That's great." So then I'm eating my pizza in the back of the room, and then at one point, Big Boss turns around looking for me, finds me, and he literally is pointing at me. And I'm like, "Oh God, are you serious? Do I need to come up and Are you going to ask me to come up and take that seat and really? And then he gives me like the Jason Ross one-hand wave and smiles. And I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Is that when you had
Jason Ross, bad cop?
Is that when you had the cheese?
No, I had wiped the cheese goatee. Okay. But I will tell you, sometimes in these types of environments,
you shine.
This was not one of those times. Oh, I did get a big round of applause, though, at the very beginning because the thing was out of focus, and they called the engineer, and the engineer's about 5'6", and he was like, got to get a ladder and this and that, and he just kind of looked at me. We made eye contact, and I was like, okay. And so I'm the one that's tall enough to mess with the focus. I got it focused. Nice round of applause from everybody. It was a feel-good moment.
You're part of the focus group.
Yeah, part of the focus. That's well done. Is it every Friday? Last Friday was the red thing, and now it's yeah.
I save it for Friday Funny Games.
You do. So you get things that you don't expect. And in this case, if you'd have told me that 2 days of company trainings, corporate trainings, would result in a rift between on-air talent, as they call it, that may not be fixable.
Whoa, wait, story to follow.
And not just not fixable, and not just a rift, but a rift between two members of our on-air staff that have known each other for 30 plus years. No, it's not you and me.
I was going to say there's only one other, two other people that could be.
So
I know this.
Chris was front and center for this one.
Oh, so Chris,
he saw the whole thing. He can back this up. This is not a radio embellishment story. This is a real deal.
Is that the two people, they coexisting right now? Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So it's too early. So
David's one of those people.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm standing at one point against the wall. I've got my pizza. I'm in the back. I'm kind of standing against the wall. And along the road nearest to me on the outside are Tom Maley from our KNCI staff and Kevin Gleason. We call him Whitey sometimes. So Whitey is sitting behind Tom. And Tom, being old and just kind of generally inept, I mean that in a good way.
Great way. The best of ways.
So on his side, kind of on the outside, on the ground, is his backpack and his phone. Now, Tom and I, we like to prank each other. And earlier this week, I hit Tom in the head with a Nerf dart.
Yeah.
To which he posted that. And then yesterday, he posted a follow-up. And it was a close-up of my neck fat talking, like my waddle. And I know. But what he didn't realize, and I think partially because he literally can't hear, is it's the part where we're interviewing somebody, and it's the part where I'm like, and look, this is a tough one. There's a lot of turnover here. People are great and all, but, you really got to want it to work. I'm giving them that thing. That's not something I necessarily want our superiors to hear as I say it live on the radio for everyone to hear. So I text him. It's not really a big deal, but I text him. I'm like, Tom, did you think that was a good idea to post audio of me saying this is a tough place to work sometimes? And he should have responded and been like, why do you care? Like, that's not a big deal. But he's like, oh, God, I didn't even think about that. And right now I know I have him. So I'm like, well, thanks. And then I texted him a real text message from our boss down the hall who asked to see me yesterday. I need to see you after the show. Now, this is for something completely different. But I said, hey, let's call the boss Chad. So I said, hey, look at this text message. And it's from Chad who says, I need to see you after the show. I've got Tom freaking out, right? Like, oh my God, dude. And to Tom's credit, he goes, do you need me to come up there and like sit with you? Like, I'll say it's my fault. And I'll say, it's your fault for what, dude? I said it. There's no getting me out of this. I am screwed. And now HR. So I'm doing this whole thing. I am on the hook for like an hour. I finally let him
This
off.
Is why when you call for serious things, people are just like, shut up. That's not true.
He's 100% correct. So we're now in this thing. I've let him off the hook, but I'm not done. His phone is on his backpack. So I kind of kneel down behind him and I grab his phone and I put it in my pocket because I'm going to do some things to it. But I also have to be careful.
Do some things to it.
I'm going to do some things to it. Because Tom also doesn't lock it.
Yeah.
Like most old people.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
All you need is your face.
Okay, this is how dumb Tom is when it comes to technology. The way Tom is listed in my Oh, what a jackpot. The way Tom is listed in my phone, this is true, and I'm going to show you. Here we go. Okay, look at the, well, hold on, that's a picture nobody wants to see of him flipping me off. What's the name at the top?
What is the name at the top?
Well, don't say the name, but
okay.
You can verify that that's the name of his wife.
Yeah.
Because somehow Tom messed up his contacts, and now everybody reads him as his wife's name, and he doesn't know how to fix it. Anyways, I grab his phone. I've got his phone for like 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden, and I would say 45 seconds. Yeah, you're correct. It was much quicker than that. And I'm kind of maneuvering my way to the back of the room a little bit, so I can get completely out of view. I see Tom looking around for his phone. Whitey's right behind him. Tom turns around at one point. He and Whitey make eye contact. Whitey points right at me. Just narked me out for no reason. Yeah. Tom then sees me. He's like, dude, give me the phone. And he's gesticulating fairly aggressively. Yeah. And now I'm like, I couldn't hear what he said, but it appeared that he said something like, I'm going to yell right now. That is exactly, don't make me yell is what he said.
During the seminar.
We're in the middle of it. Middle of the seminar. The lawyers are up there. A very serious thing. Yeah. And Tom's about to go, and give me the phone. So, of course, Ross, bad cop. I got to give him the phone. I give him the phone. I'm foiled completely. But whatever, that's fine. Sometimes pranks work. Sometimes they don't. I can take an L on that. That's no big deal. How about Whitey narking me off? Just for nothing. Just narked me off. That is, how can you work with people? Because we got to trust each other, man. We're in the foxhole. We gotta have chemistry in the halls. We got to trust each other. I will repeat the same story because we got a break here, but just not the story. The same point. Whitey was the guy I interviewed in 7th grade. Heroes in the community. What do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a radio guy. When he was at 93 Rock, not 98, 93. That's how long I've admired Whitey for. 7th grade.
He's still on the scoreboard ahead, too, with Seizure Salad.
Oh, the Seizure Salad thing I've always tipped my cap to. That was phenomenal. But this... Also, same team. Same team.
And I really would have thought he would have enjoyed a good prank on Tom.
100%. And then later on, I won't say what it was, but he had a question, and it was like the most uncomfortable question asked in the entire seminar. I'll tell you off the air. Chris is laughing, but it was very. I was a little. Anyways,
is it 3 a.m. our time or someone else's time?
Whitey Gleason, loser of the day.
Wow.
Yes. Maybe that was. You know what? That was Kevin Gleason.
Oh, you're right.
Evil twin.
Yeah.
I miss Whitey.
He shows up. Yeah, me too.
Bring Whitey Gleason back because Whitey would have had fun with that.
Yeah.
Kevin's like, can't disrupt the seminar. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, I don't think the Americans are going to win the championship.
You got to believe.
Not with that attitude. Not with that attitude.
One heck of a model America.
The Lions, that's just so random. You got me. Lions, Packers, oh my. We got the Niners weekend, and the Giants close out. Want to bury their season this weekend with 3 versus the Dodgers. We got a big show for you today. Dave Richard will have all your fantasy football questions asked and answered. Greg Papa, voice of the 49ers at 8 o'clock or perhaps 8:12. And Friday Fun and Games.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And you know what? We're going to do that on Friday this week.
Okay, if we have to.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jason has the fresh, still completely clean, which is crazy.
Still in the package.
That's a fantastic King's purple hoodie because, it's hoodie weather.
Yeah.
And we'll do leading off right after this.
T-shirt weather.
A cat shirt.
Store.
On Sactown Sports.
Build on last season's Coach of the Year award. Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, I love your outfit.
It's Stitch Fix. I'd like to thank my stylist for making me look amazing. She sends looks that work for me and my budget. She gets my fit just right. She turns me on to styles I never would have found on my own. Because of her, because of Stitch Fix, I have time to take care of everything else. They just make everything so easy. So thank you, Stitch Fix. My stylist just gets me, and they'll get you too. Stitch Fix. Take your style quiz today at stitchfix.com.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Do you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals that help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Save Mart, and Smart & Final, or a local grocery store near you.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Single back is Montgomery. Goff takes, turns, gives to Montgomery. Straight up the gut. Works his way in. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. David Montgomery powers it home, and the Lions extend their lead.
I can hear this, this is where fantasy football and real football mush with each other. I can hear the sounds, mainly because my wife was one of them, of angry, frustrated fantasy footballers everywhere. And my wife had the pleasure, pain, distinction of being one of the people that, and I'm sure there's a few of them out there. So on her fantasy team for her flex, she started Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions.
You warned us yesterday, by the way,
about
like the day he's going to have. I don't know the exact numbers, but you're like, oh, so he can get, 30 yards and 20 yards receiving. And
it's so dumb. It's so dumb the way that, whatever.
And he looks so good every time he touches the ball, and then it's Montgomery everywhere.
So she starts Gibbs, and look. If you're in a PPR league,
he wasn't awful.
He was fine. He had like 9 points. But David Montgomery gets 32 carries for $121 and a career high 3 touchdowns. Well, she had the distinction of playing somebody else who happened to be starting David Montgomery, and not only that, but the couple we always travel with, our friends. Yeah, it's her. It's the other wife.
Whammy.
So there's going to be some fisticuffs and. I don't know what they'll do. The Detroit Lions were up, 27-3.
Yeah, incredible first half.
Yeah, it was. That's where the game was won. The Packers did outscore them 19-7 in the second half, but it was certainly not enough. Jordan Love really with his first bad game, 1 touchdown, a couple of picks. The rest of his numbers were fine. And Jared Goff, is this a second straight or 2 out of 3? I can't remember games. I think it's 2 out of 3 where he's thrown a pick after almost breaking the record for consecutive games. He had an early pick. Other than that, he had a touchdown. The story of the game, though, was David Montgomery. Amon-Ra St. Brown gets in there. And Detroit goes in and gets what I think is a pretty quality win against Green Bay at Lambeau. And the only blemish on the record is a 6-point loss to the Seahawks. This isn't a Super Bowl contender. This is a good team.
Say that last part again.
This isn't
their only blemish.
Their only blemish was against the Seahawks.
Yeah. Survivor pool.
Anyway, I didn't even know.
3-1. Good team. Looks like a pretty good team, huh?
No.
Home opener against Seattle. Can't lose that one, huh?
No, they're the worst. I hate them.
I do too.
I hate them so much.
No, but if they get that win, look, they beat the Packers. Mm-hmm. We already know the Bears are just a hot mess, and then the Vikings might figure it out, but they're so far back. I wouldn't say like the Lions won the division yesterday, but it feels like it gives them. It's only a 1-game separation, but they got the first one against them. Yeah. They're in really good position to win that division.
5 sacks for the Lions. The offensive line wasn't all Jordan Love's fault. And listen, he only had 2 tackles, but 1.5 of those tackles by Aiden Hutchinson were sacks. Second-year player.
He's a stud.
He is a stud. He is 100% a stud. Cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
But if all you have to do is watch the 2 games before that also. They had every chance to win versus Washington in week 1. I believe they should have. And I forget the exact score, but I want to say it was like 27-7 in the third quarter versus the Giants, and they had every chance to win that. And it got away from them at the end. And Dallas was very similar, but they didn't turn it over there at the end, and they kept finishing and keeping out of the red zone and ended up not being close. So they're a team that really should be 3-0 right now.
I said, well, you were gone yesterday. There's a little bit of Lou Holtz in there with Kyle Shanahan, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. That being said, the last thing you want to do is not take this team seriously, which is what Dallas did. So Sunday, 1:25, Niners host the Cardinals. Brock Purdy, Josh Dobbs.
Game of the century.
Game of the century. There's a few good games this weekend, actually. A handful of pretty decent games. And we'll talk about this a lot later. You got Dolphins Bills, which is the headliner.
Yep.
Also, don't forget Falcons Jaguars. A little bit of England action.
Yes.
I looked, by the way, because I'm flying.
Oh, yeah,
London.
that's right.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
I would have. I'm. By the time I get there, it'll be like I'm going to be in London like 5 hours after this game. The next week's game ends.
What if Toy Story Dave goes?
Yeah, great question. If I was to go to this weekend's game, are the fans going to be Toy Story cartoons?
Yes.
I go in there, I'm taking a selfie as Woody or whatever. Niners, Cardinals. We'll talk to Greg Papa about this a bit later. Similar take I have to what I had last week. Look, you don't want to look past the Giants. You don't want to look past the Cardinals, especially with Dallas next week. This would probably be the definition of a trap game situation in a strange way, not in a strange way, in a very logical way. Really good that the Cardinals beat the Cowboys last week for a number of reasons, but I think number one is I don't think this is any trap game stuff is out the window.
Yeah.
These guys are getting taken very seriously.
I think so. It got the Niners' attention, at least that win. So, and the trap would be because the Cowboys are after that. But
Right.
I just think the Niners saw both teams play. That's their next two opponents. They got good intel on both, but they got to lock in on their division team this week.
Not for nothing. How about Sunday night? I understand the Taylor Swift thing, but how about Sunday Night Football being a New York Jets home game?
Yeah.
And Monday Night Football being a New York Giants home game against the Seahawks. It's just a couple of crap night games.
Yeah.
Screw New York.
Yeah, New York.
You know what's better than New York? York. Old York.
Yes.
Old York. York Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Jed York.
Cut number 3.
Manny moves that one into shallow left center field. That is going to drop down. Tatis and Soto will score. A 2-run single for Manny and a 3-run Padre lead in the 10th.
And then there were 3 for the Giants.
Yeah.
Maybe when the schedule came out, people were probably looking at that going, ooh, that Giants-Dodgers series to wrap things up. Could be a lot on the line.
Could be. Yeah, there's
not.
I mean, maybe Gabe Kapler's job. We'll talk about that. Safe around in about 4 minutes. Also, I think I saw it's tough. It's really rough. When I say something like, I think I saw the worst baseball take I've seen in a year on Twitter, that's saying something. But I think it was Alex Pavlovich was writing something, and somebody replied under, like, I think it was, will Gabe Kapler be back or something like that? This is a Giants fan that replied underneath and goes, well, I hope Logan Webb's not coming back. And somebody's like, what? Why? He's tanked the team 2 years in a row because he doesn't want to leave games. We need a clean house. Rather have the young prospects that come in for him than Logan Webb. He's trash.
Wow.
I was like, what? And again, I know I say it all the time, but odds are that person has a vote.
Yeah.
In elections. Like that he gets the same say you and I.
Yeah.
Logan Webb's the problem.
Right.
Logan Webb is going to finish somewhere in the top 10, top 5 in Cy Young voting, and he's like a bunch of games under 500. That's how good he's been this year. He's playing for a garbage team. As I've said before, this is the least enjoyable Giants team I've ever seen, and that's saying something. And I've seen a 103 loss season. This is less enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're not like this bad team, but they're not entertaining. I think they're unidentifiable. What's their brand? Who are they? Where are they going forward? I think there's a lot of things they've got to answer in the offseason.
Yeah, they do, including why are you lame?
That's question 1. That's on the big board.
I think they should, the main question a lot of these players should answer is, where am I living next year? Because it's not in this area, because I'm not on the team anymore because I'm lame.
And the rent is too damn high.
And the rent's 3/4 of my salary. We'll take a break when we come back. Safe or out, speaking of the Giants, Farhan Zaidi was asked about Gabe Kapler yesterday. The answer was weird. The Orioles and Angel Hernandez. That's right. We'll get back safe or out next. Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. We're looking at a pretty nice day with sunny skies to start, a few clouds by the afternoon, and we'll feel a bit more of a breeze later on. Temperatures will top out today in the lower 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
I caught up with Tim Walsh, Director of Sales for Bridgestone Golf, to talk about the new line of Tour B golf balls. Bridgestone began making golf balls in 1935 with the philosophy to serve society with superior quality, and that's good news for golfers. With an incredible research and development team, Bridgestone has pushed the limits year after year, and this year's line of golf balls is hard to beat. As players, we tend to settle on a ball that will increase distance or one that will enhance feel. The Tour B line of balls delivers both distance and feel. With more than 3 million fittings, Bridgestone considers itself the #1 ball fitter, and all that information is incorporated into developing new golf balls. It works for staff players Tiger Woods, Bryson DeChambeau, Matt Kuchar, Fred Couples, and Lexi Thompson. Visit BridgestoneGolf.com to learn more and find the right model for your game. Like Freddie Couples, I like the Tour B RXS, and I wish I could hit it like he does. So that's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa. At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Now at Staples, the prices of HP printers are dropping. Save on HP Smart Tank and enjoy even more savings on ink. Save on the HP Inkjet, perfect for high-quality pics. Save on HP laser printers, great for tackling high-volume document printing. Now through September 30th, save on Staples' entire selection of HP printers, some as low as $69.99. With HP printer price drops at Staples, now is the time to upgrade to HP, America's most trusted printer brand. See staples.com/HP for details.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 4 of the NFL kicked off yesterday with the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Lions running back David Montgomery had a huge night. He had 121 yards on 32 carries and 3 touchdowns to get the win at Lambeau Field. On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers host the Arizona Cardinals. You can listen to the Niners game this Sunday with pregame at 12:25 and kickoff scheduled for 1:25 right here on Sactown Sports. The 44th Ryder Cup is currently underway at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, and Europe is up big after they swept the foursomes round to take a 4-0 lead over the U.S. Your Ryder Cup update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Wow, safe or out? Just kidding. And we're. I'm just so glad. Look, I've said this before, and just put this somewhere and just remember it because it's going to happen. It's going to be the worst ever called shot. My career will end with an open mic someday. That's how it's going to end. 100%. Wow, this is great. That's how it's going to end. Not because I'm saying like horrible things, but radio people for the most part have horrible senses, like really dark senses of humor. It's just a way to break up the stress. Well, these days this mic's going to be on. And someone's going to be like, that, you should not have said that. And they're going to say just
they're
like
going to
that.
be in a powdered wig.
Yeah. Point of order, you should not have said that on the radio. Safer out. Christopher Lott. Question un.
Farhan Zaidi was asked if Gabe Kapler would return next week and gave a non-answer. Safer out. Gabe Kapler is toast.
He's
French. Sourdough.
He is
burnt.
Buttered.
Yeah.
I think he's I think the best looking manager in baseball history
is going to be available.
Is going to be available.
He did not get a rose.
At a city near you. He did not get a rose. Yeah, this was a one of those like, well, we'll have to, we're looking for ways. I mean, he was asked directly.
Yeah.
Directly if Gabe Kapler's going to be back. And his quote was, we all just have to look at how we can improve across the board. That's the personnel on the roster. That's our culture in the clubhouse.
The funny thing, though, is like if he gave him the vote of confidence, we also might be well, I don't believe that's the dreaded vote of confidence. He's gone. Now, this doesn't sound like an endorsement by any means.
Shout out to the guy yesterday who said, I'm tuning you out because they just extended their contracts. They'll both be back for sure. But maybe he comes.
Could be.
I'm not saying he's definitely gone. I'm saying you listen to what Zaidi just said. And by the way, I still am not entirely convinced it's going to be Zaidi's decision to make that he's going to be around. But he probably will. Kapler will probably be the fall guy. I'll tell you this much: at least one of them's got to go. This is just disgusting. It was a terrible, terrible season. It's one thing if you're bad. If you're gonna be bad in a direction.
Yeah.
Have a. It's because of all the prospects. It's because there's a transition. Whatever it is, this was just stupid baseball. So safe. I think he's toast.
And I think he manages differently, and that's okay. But I get the feeling when you're not as successful and you manage in a little bit of a quirky way, I think you lose the clubhouse. I do.
Sounds like he had. Well, either he's lost the clubhouse or the clubhouse just does not care.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to John Brebbia, who Kapler went to get him from the mound the other day. There's a great video.
It's like a weird dance.
He was trying to hold Kapler's arms down because his strategy was, since he couldn't convince him to stay in the game, to let him stay in the game, if he held his arms down, that the clock for the mound visit would run out and he'd have to stay in the game. And that's why they both started laughing. By the way, Kapler out-muscled him because, he's yoked.
Yeah, they're like...
Yeah, he's just got delts. Number 2.
Safe or out?
Angel Hernandez missed another call, and Bryce Harper got tossed arguing. Safe or out? Angel Hernandez is a huge problem for baseball.
Yeah, he is a huge problem for baseball. And this is where the umpires union and this is where lawyers get involved. Like, I am 100%. If you read about, just Google, why is Angel Hernandez in baseball? And
name another umpire.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Chris.
I mean,
we know a lot of NBA referees. I used to know a few more umpires. I don't have a whole lot more in my head.
Brian. Yeah.
But universally known,
No.
and the reason he gets known is
because he sucks.
And then they get posted on social media. Oh, yet another blown call here. Look at the night behind the dish for Angel Hernandez, and they'll show 19 missed calls, and you're going, they don't do this to anybody else.
The amount of money that Major League Baseball spends on things, the amount of money that Major League Baseball gets, obviously there's a reason Hernandez is still around, and it's not because he's a good umpire. It's because of lawsuits and blah, blah, blah. Again, the logical thing for baseball to do, therefore they won't do it. Pay them off, man. Be like, look, what's it going to take? You can either stay working. How about we throw $5 million at you? Woo! $5 million, and you get your pension, and you retire at the end of the year, and you indemnify us from any lawsuits ever. Here's $5 million. Please just pay him to go away. Again, $5 million is a lot of money, but for baseball, it's a drop in the bucket. And I think it's a steal at twice the price to get rid of this guy who every one of these videos that goes out, he missed a lot of the year because of, I think he had an injury or something, but every one of these videos that goes out, his ball strikes missed is the worst in baseball. He's, it's not a good look for Bryce Harper, a superstar, to get tossed. He throws his helmet in the crowd. He'll probably get fined for that, even though it's a nice souvenir for somebody. It's safe. He's a huge problem.
Yeah, agreed.
Cut number 3.
Safe or out?
The Orioles won their 100th game last night. Safe or out? If the A's are the saddest story in baseball this year, the Orioles are the feel-good story.
I think they are, and I would accept arguments against, but I think they are. It's not like they're a tiny market, but they're not the biggest market. Their money is certainly not huge market when it comes to salaries, and this is a story everyone should know. Brandon Hyde, their manager, he's the first manager since Connie Mack. If you don't know who Connie Mack is, that's like, I don't even know if there's a color picture of Connie Mack. That's how old he is. He's the first manager since Connie Mack to manage a team to 100 losses and sticking around to manage them to 100 wins. So all the crap baseball he's seen, he has stuck through it all. And I love dragging the Angelos family like anyone else, the owners of the Orioles. But, hey, props to them for either having the vision or, quite frankly, being asleep at the wheel enough to keep Hyde around. And here they are. They're a 100-win team with the second lowest payroll in baseball.
Yeah, I think, who they remind me of, honestly, a little bit is the Kings. I mean, the Kings became kind of a feel-good story around the NBA. We're so close to it here. Now you hope they can do something magical in the postseason because I think they're good enough to do it. And this may be just the start of something for them. But that first year you have, they're got to be going crazy for the Orioles right now.
It's funny you mentioned like the Kings because one of the bits they've done over there, I don't know if you've seen it on a lot more wins in baseball than basketball, but after every win over there, they release 20 Baltimore Orioles at the stadium that fly all around the city, kind of like their version of the beam, and then they're trained to actually come back to their little cages where they're fed and stuff, and then after every win they get released again.
Wait, there's an actual Baltimore Oriole?
Yeah, there is an actual Baltimore Oriole, and you know what? It somehow managed to grow the same colors as the baseball team, the black and orange.
Interesting.
We'll take a break. When we come back, and I didn't write it down in here. Speaking of baseball and being stupid, at some point we have to talk about the Oakland A's lobbyists suing teachers. That happened yesterday. They're literally suing the teachers because the teachers are trying to get a petition to put this stadium funding on the ballot, and they're now suing them for it. So we'll get to that at one point. When we get back, Lions beat the Packers. We got highlights from that. And Damian Lillard says goodbye in an 8-page letter. We're not going to read it for you, but we'll give you some highlights next.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent.
Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergent.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fall is here, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling wants to make sure you're taken care of through the month of September. From now until September 30th, book any tune-up or troubleshooting appointment and get 100% of the trip charge credited back on any completed repairs. Normal big box companies charge $89 or more. Why not put that toward what needs to be fixed? Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now at 530-GOOD-AIR. That's 530-GOOD-AIR. Or book your appointment now at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057618.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Hey, do I have my, is this my fault? Do I have my stuff turned up here?
He's playing the game.
Nathan says, thanks for all the good
that
times,
me?
the whole gang. Shout out to Murad.
No.
That is not you. Someone is playing with my board.
Yeah, so I've got the, let me know when I should try it. I was trying to play some highlights here, but somebody messed with Chris's board. That makes Chris a very, very unhappy Chris. Welcome back, Friday. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. Light the beam.
Yes.
Media Day, Monday.
That's right. We're going to be out there. We'll have some sound for everybody, some interviews for Tuesday and Wednesday, probably.
Yeah, Tuesday. Well, I'll be here Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Why did I think I wasn't going to be? Oh, it's okay. Yes, that's right. We will have a ton of sound for you on Tuesday. We'll have all the fun stuff, all the interactions, see how everybody is. Davion Mitchell's going to come in looking like just yoked. He's doing all those Instagram videos.
Yeah.
Pictures and stuff. Did you happen to see, by the way, the next generation of Meta, not Ron Artest, but Facebook, Meta Ray-Bans are coming out now, and Chris is a huge fan. I guess not only when you look through them is it like augmented reality, so like you're looking at a sign in a different language, it'll translate it. You're looking at a building, and it'll give you the stats on it and all that, but you click this little button, and you can stream live on Facebook and Instagram from your glasses. So it's your point of view, which I honestly think is like, no joke. There's going to be a thing in the future. I'm sure it exists now, but this is going to be a thing where you just drop in on people's lives, and they're just wearing the glasses all day long, and you're just, but imagine like going on a roller coaster and stuff. I think there's some cool aspects there. And then there was also I guess yesterday was Facebook Apple Day, like how Apple has their day, Facebook must have. And it was Mark Zuckerberg and somebody else, and they had those big ass Oculus eyes on the mask. And they were doing they were having a meeting with each other. And I swear to God, dude, it looked like when Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne were in the Matrix with the chairs. Yeah. So I don't know where, I'm assuming Zuckerberg was in the Bay Area. I don't know where this, the other guy was in Texas. and they're in the same room having a conversation, and this guy's he's like, it looks like you're right in front. Like, I'm afraid to get close to you because we're in personal space.
Right.
Like, I can see you. I can see you look like you're literally in front of me, and we're in the same room, and they can design the room. They can do whatever they want, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't help but think soon enough, that's how those trainings are going to happen.
You're right.
It's 100% how those trainings are going to happen. It's how meetings are going to happen, where everyone's sitting in the chairs and watching whatever, but they're at their house naked, in pajamas.
There you go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Won't be how football games happen, though. You got to be able to hit people.
You got to be able to play.
You got to be able to play, like Dave Montgomery last night.
Goff turns, gives to Montgomery, left side, finds a crease, spins into the end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions.
Did I say Dave Montgomery?
Goff up under center. Montgomery, the lone back behind him. 2nd and goal from the Packer 2. Montgomery again, cuts it left to the house. Touchdown Detroit Lions.
I said David Montgomery.
Goff up under center. Single back is Montgomery. Goff takes, turns, gives to Montgomery, straight up the gut, fights his way in, touchdown Detroit Lions! David Montgomery powers it home, and the Lions extend their lead.
34-20 is your final. A little bit of a comeback in the second half for the Packers, but it wasn't enough. As you said earlier, that was way too much of a first half for the Lions.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell had some post-game comments, but I thought you'd enjoy more, Jason, not just his media comments. How about his post-game speech in the Lions locker room? Because I want Dan Campbell as my alarm clock.
You
do? I literally want him in my room in the morning, and
it'd be a bit weird.
It'd be
maybe in a virtual world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, there's another example. Yeah. Dan Campbell in the virtual world waking me up.
Wake up, Dave.
And eventually it's not going to be these big giant masks you wear. It's going to be like contacts that you put in that nobody can see. Here's Dan Campbell waking up his locker room.
You guys went earn that win. Everything about it, man. That's one. That's 2 in a row, and it's a conference win, gentlemen. Great. We're 3-1 at the quarter. Yeah. Man, the sky's the limit. We keep playing defense the way we're playing. Control the game on offense. We can do whatever we want to do, man, but we can never lose this. We can never lose this. It is a team ball. Who said that? Oh. Team ball. There ain't no doubt. Let's go. That's an outstanding win, man. I'm so proud of you guys. That's one, man. That is one division win. You guys get your rest. Enjoy this break. You can earned it, and then we move on and we get ready for Carolina. Next quarter.
Hey, how about the defense today, boys? Keep doing this. Keep doing this. Know who the f we are. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry for the bleeps.
Yeah.
But then I heard the raw. All they were saying was gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why they bleeped that out.
Yeah.
That's Dan Campbell post game. That was Jared Goff at the very end. They're doing the 1, 2, 3. Roar.
Yeah.
And the Lions, do they qualify? Like, I don't even know what the definition of the Lions are for real.
Yeah.
But I think like the Lions they're not going to win a title, I don't think, but they're a for real quality team.
Well, that's why you just keep going, right? They're 3-1. They've got to feel great. He's talking about going to the break. So they're identifying it in quarters of a season. And, if you do 3-1 in the next group, then all of a sudden, you're 6-2. You look at, you got to take some time to get your separation. So I think right now, Dave, most people would probably put the Niners, understandably, the Eagles, maybe the Cowboys based on preseason expectations as the best teams in the NFC. Well, there's got to be someone else. And maybe there's a bigger separation there. Maybe there's not. And it has every chance to be the Detroit Lions. And then as the season goes, building confidence, building on that defense. They've got a pretty good offense. Maybe Montgomery maybe it's a special year for him.
Sure.
So then all of a sudden you go, hey, this Lions seems a lot better. So right now it's a good start.
I know you're kind of an NFL floater, if you will. But I do wonder if you put a poll out for people, like take your favorite team out of the equation. Would the Lions be the number one team? Would the Lions be the team that everyone would say, you know what, I'd like for them to win the Super Bowl? I feel like it'd be between the Lions and the Bills.
Browns?
Ooh. Yeah, that's true.
Now, though.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, a Lions-Bills Super Bowl, for example, would just be awesome.
And Bills still can't win.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that ends in a tie.
Yeah, just neither of them. And I'm trying to think. Like,
should we make that a poll?
I feel like we should. Lions or Bills, and then what, right in other? I can't think of. I think the Jags are too young. Jets, but they've got one,
I do think the Browns would get a lot.
Lions, Bill. You know what? I believe I agree with Chris that the Browns would come in third, and a lot of that's Deshaun Watson. But I put them in there. Yeah, Lions, Bills, Browns. Lions.
Do we have another NFC team to balance it?
Lions, Bills, Browns. Let me look at the list here.
Cardinals,
Vikings.
Yeah,
I mean, but they have the whole purple people eater.
Yeah, but they're the same as the Bills, right?
Yeah,
Didn't they get they didn't get their 4 in a row, but I think they have 3 or 4 Super Bowl losses.
Saints already have theirs. Carolina's still Atlanta. I don't think anybody cares about that. Yeah. Is the problem. Like, I don't hate Atlanta. I don't dislike Atlanta. Arizona. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl.
Right. I don't think a lot of people care about them either.
That's the thing. I don't think they engender the same, like, lovable loser dramatics that the Browns or the Bills or the Lions do. I feel like
I think the Vikings would be the 4th entry, but I don't know that where they land on the poll.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Damian Lillard. We've only got a minute here, so I don't want to get too far into this. But Damian Lillard said bye-bye. He posted. This is
classy.
Very, and he always has been, and he truly is my favorite non-King NBA player. And if I'm being fair, he may be my favorite
non-King
player. This is like the new take out the poor newspapers. They need the revenue.
Yeah.
And back in the day, a player like Dame leaves, he takes out like 2 full pages. This is the new full page thing in the paper. And he wrote 8 pages of just, I think so Jason, you're the only other one that will care about this. I think he thanked every single person in Portland, but the whole time I'm scanning it, I'm looking for our guy Rasan. Because Rasan was media relations guy with the Kings
for 1 year, right?
Yeah, one.
But he still could have.
He still could have. Anyways, no, he not only thanked a lot of people, a ton of people in the organization, but thanked the fans and thanked the media, a lot of them by name. And the whole point of it was like, look, we've had our ins and outs, our ups and downs, but as I leave, I hope it's nothing but love and respect and da-da-da-da-da. And as we'll talk about a little bit later in 3 for Madness at 7:44, he said, it's not going to be the last time I wear a Blazers uniform. And I wonder if that's going to be one of those I'm retiring. Or if that's, I will say this. I haven't even looked at the schedule. But whatever day that the Milwaukee Bucks visit Portland for one time of the year, I think probably Wednesday, January 31st.
Okay.
One of the biggest ovations for a returning player we've ever seen. Because Portland's like that anyways. They're very Sacramento-y.
Yeah.
And for Dame Lillard, he's going to – will we see Dame Lillard, who is just tough and, a little tear? It's going to be tough not to, man.
Yeah.
We'll take a break when we come back. Hey, listen, if you missed Sam towards the end of the show yesterday, a lot of stuff that we went over with Sam Amick about the trade, about any Kings involvement, and also work being done on pools in his neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah, all that and more. We'll replay Sam, followed by Dave Richard at 7:27. Don't go away. We're right back.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
And then I was selling pretzels out of a cart in San Francisco at the time.
Like the people who sell them at the arena or at the stadiums? Like, did you have like a holler?
Like a pretzel barker?
Pretzel! Something like that. I don't know.
How would that have gone again?
I don't want to do it in case Chris. I'm sure Chris already cut it. Actually, he can. Pretzel. God, I hate him so much.
It's Whitey and Watkins from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. We're looking at a pretty nice day with sunny skies to start, a few clouds by the afternoon, and we'll feel a bit more of a breeze later on. Temperatures will top out today in the lower 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Investing can be quite taxing for many investors. How many taxes can be expected before investors can see a profit? Publicly traded corporations pay taxes on their profits. When those profits are distributed in the form of a dividend, these profits are taxed again by the shareholder, what is called a double tax. If the value of the investor's interest in the corporation, their stock, is sold for a gain, taxes may be paid again. These can be taxed at a rate called a capital gains rate. This tax is frequently accompanied by a 3.8% tax to cover costs associated with the Affordable Health Care Act. If the investments are held inside of a 401k or traditional IRA, income taxes, not capital gains taxes, could be paid upon withdrawal of funds. One of the largest investments some investors may make is the purchase of real estate. Selling a home for more than what you paid, called your cost basis, can result in a tax. Trying to make sense of all these taxes can be mentally taxing. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisor.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground, they may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in Youth Arch Supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase Certainty through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
Sacramento State football is back at home this Saturday night versus Northern Arizona. Kickoff 6 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlato with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 4 of the NFL kicked off yesterday with the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Lions running back David Montgomery had a huge night. He had 121 yards on 32 carries and 3 touchdowns to get a win at Lambeau Field. On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers host the Arizona Cardinals. You can listen to the Niners game this Sunday with pregame at 12:25 and kickoff scheduled for 1:25 right here on Sactown Sports. The 44th Ryder Cup is currently underway at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, and Europe is up big after they swept the foursomes round to take a 4-0 lead over the U.S. Your Ryder Cup update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood Home Furnishing, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes,
He did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Right now on the Folsom Lake hotline to hang out and talk about the trade heard around the NBA, I guess, and so much more. Sam, good morning. It's Dave and Jason. Hi.
Good morning, Dave and Jason. You know, I get up, I brush my hair for you. I'm ready to go on video. So disappointed. But that's all right.
Well,
I don't get to see your smiling faces.
Is that our fault or your fault? I don't know. Is it on our end?
It's ours.
Oh, it's ours. Okay. Chris says it's on our end. Sorry, Sam.
You did me a favor because I normally don't get presentable until midday. So appreciate you.
Also, I can tell Sam's back because Drunk Neighbor John's in the chat, and I haven't seen him in months.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, he's wasted no time.
I really haven't. I haven't heard from Drunk Neighbor John in a long time. Sam, we were this is a true story. We talked about it earlier. We were in a big corporate training when the Lillard news broke. So when that breaks for you, obviously it's all stop, and it made me think of you coming in. Like, do you remember an example, perhaps? And I know you're plugged in, and a lot of times you're breaking these moves, but is there an example that comes to mind of where something like this breaks, and it is not the time for you to have to drop everything and work?
So top of mind, this is a very long time ago, but I'm on the right station to retell this story, is that Kevin Martin got an extension with the Kings. And back then it was just a massive amount of money. And it's still, to regular folks like us, it is. But remember, 5 years, $55 million. And somebody was trying to be helpful and help me break it. But I was on a cruise ship in Alaska.
Oh, wow. No.
And I think I still got it, but I was, I think for some reason I was like not even on the top of the ship. I was like in the bowels of the ship in the room, just trying to deal with no cell signal and get back to the glacier watching and whale watching and stuff like that. So, you have things break at strange times. This one, to pivot to this latest trade, my favorite part of it was that, it breaks. I was definitely surprised. I had looked into this a lot the day before, and they kept the Bucks, situation pretty quiet. So David Aldridge, the legendary Hall of Famer from our place, wanted to do a roundtable discussion to react to the trade. And the way that works writing wise is we basically say, hey, sounds good. We start a Google Doc, and then you kind of both dive in and start writing. But I told David, like, hey, I need a few minutes. If you want to take a crack at the lead, the top of the story, go ahead. I'll be back in a little bit. So I go back and I see that David wrote all this stuff about how an old editor of his used to love what he called the holy SH stories, right? Like the ones that shock you. And it was so great that he had written this colorful lead about holy SH stories because, my exact reaction to this trade, and this is documented on my phone, is I texted our Bucks beat writer and I said, holy SH. Right. And I texted somebody with Damian's camp and said, holy SH, all over the place. I was having that reaction. So this one, this was on the short list of surprises.
For Dame, Sam, on this, were they saying the same thing? Because obviously he was clear in what he wanted, at least his intentions were Miami. Then you hear Toronto. Milwaukee comes out of nowhere. Obviously he'll go. He'll be a part of a great team. But what do you think Lillard's camp's reaction is to this?
Well, Mr. Ross, I will direct, fans and readers to our latest story that just went up a little bit ago. We've got a bunch of behind the scenes stuff on kind of answering that question. And the answer is that there was no holy SH from Dame because, he and his agent, Aaron Goodwin, had a lot to do with pushing it this direction. So if you go back to mid-September, there had been a fair amount of acrimony between the two camps, the Blazers and Dames. Media day is getting closer. The uncomfortableness is getting, increased. And mid-September, Joe Cronin, the Blazers GM, essentially stops responding to all communication from Damian's people, and kind of hunkered down and clearly decided, like, all right, I'm just ignoring you guys. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to call all these teams. So he starts making calls and trying to figure out what he's going to do here. But once that, they essentially realized at that point, Damian's people and Damian, that Miami was not happening. That for whatever reason, the trade itself, but also they thought it felt kind of personal, that the Blazers and Joe were determined not to send him where he wanted to go. So then they started exploring, which other places would he be okay going to? And the Milwaukee one was certainly on the short list. So Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and Miami ultimately were the three that he was comfortable with. Toronto was not on that list, which I think ultimately is why they didn't put their best foot forward trade-wise. But I love the trade in terms of, like, for one, we should have seen it coming. Like, sure, he wanted Miami. We joke about the beach and South Beach and all that. But this guy's a hooper, and he wants to win a championship. And the genius of this trade is that, say what you will about Milwaukee, which I actually enjoy quite a bit as a city, but it's not Miami. It doesn't matter. This guy just got put next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's going to have the championship opportunity that he always dreamed of. And like he tweeted yesterday, he's pretty happy about it.
Sam Amick of The Athletic joining us. Sam, you mentioned the genius of the trade. And one of the angles here I'm really interested in is, did Giannis Antetokounmpo have a massive effect on this happening? You'll remember, what was it, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, the big story was his re-signing wasn't guaranteed, that he wanted the team to be going in a championship direction, and he wanted to be shown that. And this seems, whether it's coincidental or not, that this is kind of the shot back across the bow from the team, if you will, saying, yeah, we're dead serious, dude. We just got you Dame Lillard. For sure. I mean, that the power dynamics in this league never cease to intrigue me and entertain me, and this is a big time one. So Giannis does an interview with the New York Times where he just plainly states that he's not sure that he wants to be in Milwaukee for the long haul unless they're winning titles. So he applies pressure in that interview. Does another podcast visit with a show called 48 Minutes. I don't know the relationship between Giannis and those individual guys, but bottom line, like, he's on there for like 45 minutes. Like, he is just talking and talking and talking, repeats some of the same stuff that, he wants a championship and Milwaukee needs to keep pushing. So the part that I think we missed is, like, and I wrote this, is like, okay, was he speaking holistically and just philosophically, or what now appears to have been happening, in my opinion, is he knew that Dame was a possibility. And I do believe that he was trying to implore the team to do that. Now, that's informed speculation at this point. Sure. I need to kind of, get more intel on that. But I was told for sure that, that Giannis, there had been some communication between Giannis and Dame at some point during this process. I mean, Dame has tweeted in the past about, he had a fan ask him one time, if there was one player that you would love to play with to try to win a championship, who would it be? And he said Giannis. Like, there's a mutual admiration there. And it's funny to me because, listen, John Horst, who most listeners have never even heard of, is the GM of the Bucks. And, that dude has got stones for days, in my opinion, because he has now answered Giannis's first pressure application a few years ago by trading for Jrue Holiday and winning a championship. And it's really the same sort of like context and scenario where there were questions about Giannis signing a supermax. They went out, they got Jrue with no guarantees that Giannis was going to sign the extension, but that trade absolutely put him over the edge and compelled him to sign that deal. They're obviously hoping that this does the same thing. And if I had to guess, it probably will, but we'll see.
Sam Amick of The Athletic joining us. Sam, you mentioned Jrue Holiday seems to be a really coveted piece here. Portland gets him. They kind of had to do that, but it seems like that's going to be short-lived. What are we looking at as potential landing spots for Holiday? Listen, first of all, it's a cold world in the NBA. I just can't get it out of my head that it's like this guy was a massive part of their championship, played so well against the Suns in the finals. And it's like the second that he could be the means to an end,
as far as flipping, and doing a deal that keeps Giannis, then Jrue's the one that ends up paying the price, and he was quoted, I'm sure you guys saw just yesterday in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, did an interview talking about how he never wanted to play anywhere else. He clearly, I think, saw this coming. And that was all my attempt at stalling, Jason, so I could answer your question. Because this was some Shams' intel from the piece. I mean, playoff, well, you know what? It's actually not in the piece. So playoff contenders are going to be in the mix. I mean, you hear, I forgot that we actually chose not to write a few individual teams just because the landscape is probably going to be pretty wide, if that makes sense. But, Sixers and Heat are a couple that come to mind. Keep an eye on Utah. Jrue is a guy that, okay, sure, he's had some playoff struggles offensively, but and he got his backside handed to him by Jimmy Butler in the first round of the playoffs last year, which obviously I think that played a part in the Bucks' willingness to part ways with him because that was just a bad series for Jrue. But he's a fantastic player who's still, I think, only 32. And a guy that is a two-way player. I had a 50-point game last year, averaged almost 20. So the market is going to be, I think, pretty robust. But I do wonder the age component. Like I saw some debate online about who's, the value of a Jrue Holiday versus what the Heat would have given the Blazers and Tyler Hero. Now, in terms of players, Tyler Hero can't touch Jrue Holiday, but the age thing matters. And so, it's like how many teams feel like they are so close to contending that they could do something like that. This is just me talking, but I wonder about the Clippers. They're laser focused on James Harden, but if Philly is going to be stubborn there, if that thing isn't transpiring the way they want it to, is there anything that could get done there? They probably don't have the pieces, but he's, like we saw a couple of years ago with the Bucks, he's the type of guy that can get you over the top.
Let me ask you just to expand a little bit if there's anything to expand on, because we asked that earlier. Okay, Lillard's out of the way. Now it's James Harden. Doesn't appear Harden has the value Lillard does around the league. I could be wrong. But is there anything to maybe, was the NBA world waiting for one domino to fall before the others go? Could we see an increase between training camp around the corner and the Lillard deal going through? Do you expect to see movement on Harden? And if so, last part of the question, seems like the Clippers are very Miami-ish, if you will, on James Harden.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And I think what you mean is that they want the player, but they will not be desperate for the player.
Right.
And ultimately, and they both feel like they have really good teams without the player. Now, it's easy to say that as a leverage tactic, but the Heat, I think, are taking some lumps today for not only missing out on Damian Lillard, but watching him go to a rival in the East. And so if you're the Clippers, be careful, because I don't know where James is going to go, but if you go somewhere else in the West and you're a little farther back in the pack, then maybe you pay the price for that. I don't know if this will speed anything up, though, because it is seemingly just, it's just the Clippers and the Sixers. I don't know of any other teams that are truly involved or interested. I do think James's market is less than Dame's because of the baggage that comes with his last couple of years, who he is as a teammate, things of that nature. But it's an interesting one too, because I guess to bring it back to the Bucks and Giannis guys, like Giannis and Embiid were the two superstars where the entire league was essentially keeping its powder dry because you wondered if these guys were going to ask out at some point. So it felt like that suppressed the market on Dame. Maybe it suppressed the market on Harden. Now the Bucks obviously flipped the script and said, you know what, we're going to be, preemptive here and go all in to keep Giannis away from everybody. So now it's just a question of, do people keep their powder dry for Embiid? I think they probably do. I don't think there's much of an impact on the Harden stuff. Also, Daryl Morey, the Sixers GM, to me, I think he's going to push this thing deep into the season, potentially, like he did with Ben Simmons a couple of years ago. I'm actually going out to Sixers training camp next week and very curious to see, what that looks like. They're going to be out in Colorado of all places. But obviously the spotlight now turns in that direction.
Sam, another layer to this, Phoenix was the third team involved, and I think the name that is intriguing is them parting ways with DeAndre Ayton, who was a starting center on that team in the championship against the Bucks. So they've moved on from Paul, they've moved on from Ayton. We know that they've added a lot there, but what are your thoughts on them being so willing to move on from their young number one pick?
Yeah, I mean, they targeted, it's funny, they targeted Nurkic in a pretty serious way. And I'm really curious to see if he's as good a fit as they think he's going to be. And, Matt Ishbia, the new Suns owner, is extremely involved. James Jones is the head of the front office. Isaiah Thomas is unofficially very influential out there. And so that group appears to have targeted Nurkic as a big that they think fits much better with their superstars. Basically the idea that Ayton was a really good pick and roll player, but Nurkic's size and his ability to essentially help all these shooters get off and create space is something that they liked more with Nurkic than Ayton. But also I think the history with DeAndre and the years of him kind of a little bit being 1 foot in, 1 foot out as far as his happiness level, I'm sure played a part. The Grayson Allen addition is a good one. They wanted depth and it's not sexy, but they between free agency where they added a bunch of pretty high quality pieces with minimum contracts. And then this trade, which I think is sneaky good, nothing too crazy, but I think it's making them better. And we are kind of forgetting that, amidst all the talk about these other superstars, the Suns have got a bunch and they're trying to win the whole thing too.
Sam Amick with us. Last question. And, I want this to be a two-way street. You come on, you give us great intel. You're a national writer that people are huge name, huge get for us. Right. And so we're getting a lot of value out of this. I'm going to return the favor. I'm going to give you if I can, just an idea, but an idea for an article, a piece, if you will. You can file away for whenever. And this comes with the added effect of if you write it, you're going to anger a lot of people that you probably don't want to anger. Can we get a piece at some point? Because we were talking about this earlier. Devin Booker's the last guy on the team from the finals here 3 years ago. He's the last guy. Can we someday get a piece? And I know there've been ones before, but from you, where we talk about new owners like Matt Ishbia coming in who have had success in whatever field they're in, and they're a disruptor and they do things their way, and they're going to come in and do the thing. Whether it was going back to Mark Cuban with the Dallas Mavericks, Vivek came in and fell right on his face and then dragged himself around the city in circles a few times before he's finally figured it out. The Steve Ballmer coming in and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. No, there is.
Why are you waiting so long to say Vivek's name?
I just said Vivek. I said no.
You did. I didn't hear Vivek.
No, he was my second example. No. I said he fell right on his face and dragged himself around the city a couple times before eventually, he's figured it out.
I got distracted.
So there's this epidemic where many new owners come in and go, I'm doing it my way. And they fall flat on their faces. You say that Matt Ishbia really wanted this guy. You're a mortgage broker, you moron. I mean, he's not a moron.
Former college basketball
Whatever.
player.
He's a mortgage guy, and he's hiring an Isaiah. Let me see where I've heard this before. Oh, hold on. Oh my gosh, Vivek and Chris Mullin. And I guarantee you there's 9 other examples of owners coming in and jocking up with a jock and going, I think, they're playing fantasy basketball, and it never works. How do I know the Suns aren't going to win it all this year? How do I know they're not going to make it the finals? Because every other time it doesn't. This experiment doesn't work, and Ishbia is going to screw this team up, which I'm fine with. In the meantime, because he's got we'll just call it NAD. No, it'd be NOD, new owner disease. Can we get a piece on that?
You got NADs? Okay. Yeah, I like the idea, and this is, I got to be careful with this. Sometimes my favorite part of coming on with you guys is that, with the internet, everything is global, right? Like I could say something on here and it could get aggregated, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
He just implied, by the way, that people around the world aren't already listening, but that's okay. We'll move on. That's fine.
I'm just saying that, I sometimes have this misconception in my head that it's just us talking in our little Sacramento corner.
Right. Good point.
But I will share some insight on that front. I was a little surprised yesterday when, unsolicited, some insight was shared with me from the direction of the Suns that Ishbia was very involved, and Ishbia wanted Nurkic, and it was actually essentially shared in the kind of way that, like, feel free to share this with the world. Like, Matt really is excited. Matt wanted this, and I highlight that because it's like, what does it tell you? That, in my opinion, the motive behind framing the optics that way are probably tied to the fact that they've received a lot of criticism, including from me, about Isaiah Thomas's influence. But it's something's backwards when it's like you're highlighting the owner's influence to distract from the former NBA player's influence. Yeah. And somewhere in there, the GM of the team is involved. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know, and so I hear you. Now, I will say, I mean, okay, I get in general what you're talking about, and I know we have to go here, but like he did go out and get Kevin Durant and you know, and Bradley Beal.
Sam, sorry, hold on. I didn't mean. Hold on a second. We're in the middle of an interview. I'm getting a phone call.
Who is it?
Oh, it's Steve Nash on the Lakers. Oh yeah, that super team with all those veterans. That Steve, I'm talking to Sam. Bye.
Years old.
What? How old is Durant?
Oh, stop it! You're questioning?
I know. You're right. It never works, Sam. Yeah. It never works.
Devin Booker is a bad man. I'm going to say it might work because I actually think that he's going to be the glue. And I mean, they're going to be really good. And with all due respect to a friend and colleague, I saw this yesterday on Twitter. Cameron Salerno had a tweet about how he thought the Kings were going to win more games than the Suns. And I vehemently disagree with that take. I think the Suns are going to win a lot of games.
No, I agree with you. I think we could all say it at the same time. It just depends on the health. Always. But with that team, it depends on the health. As we go, Sam, breaking Amick news, perhaps. I don't know if this is true or not, but we also have sources. We also have.
Oh, here comes John.
No, it doesn't have to be John. It could be other people that live next to you. But is there any truth to the rumor when the Lillard trade broke? For much of the time after the Lillard trade broke, you were having issues because a neighbor of yours was getting their pool worked on.
I was wondering if he was going to mention this. I joked with my wife. I was like, man, the benefits of having neighbors that you like. So the family that's having their pool put in, we're close with and care about deeply. So if it was someone I didn't like, it would be like annoying. They're having a pool put in, but it was this pouring truck that didn't start until about 2 p.m. and went until about 8 p.m. Yeah. My office is in the front of the house. And I wish I had a decibel level, meter. It was up there, and I'm taking calls in the office, dealing with, first of all, I haven't had work stress in a while. Sure. It's been a few months. And so I'm trying to put stories together. The brain's trying to catch up. So, these are the first world problems that come with working at home and covering the league. But yes, that did happen.
All right. Well, I speak for Jason and Chris for a lot, and the rest of us, you are in our thoughts and prayers. And
stop it.
Good luck today. Sam, say hi to the family. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Be good.
Bye.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready
and get ready for the workday.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. It's the end of summer blowout on all their systems. Right now, $2,500 off full systems, as low as $34 a week. And now American Energy Heating and Air offering a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high-efficiency units. Look, the uncomfortable becomes comfortable with American Energy Heating and Air. They've been around since 1981, making the greater Sacramento area proud with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And as always, their goal is to exceed your expectations, exceed them of the heating and air industry, valuing the customer experience and making your home comfortable. It's that simple. Go to American Energy Heating and Air and get yourself a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high-efficiency units.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Bank of America, we learn what matters most by asking our customers one simple question. What would you like the power to do?
I'd like the power to worry less.
The power to make my parents comfortable.
The power to...
agree on a monthly budget?
Oh, well, hey, that'd be nice.
No matter what your financial goal is, we're here to help. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Sacramento State football is back at home this Saturday night versus Northern Arizona. Kickoff 6 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 4 the NFL kicked off yesterday with the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Lions running back David Montgomery had a huge night. He had 121 yards on 32 carries and 3 touchdowns to get the win at Lambeau Field. On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers host the Arizona Cardinals. You can listen to the Niners game this Sunday with pregame at 12:25 and kickoff scheduled for 1:25 right here on Sactown Sports. The 44th Ryder Cup is currently underway at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, and Europe is up big after they swept the foursomes round to take a 4-0 lead over the U.S. Your Ryder Cup update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and our guest, Dave Richard.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Red Hot Chili Peppers bringing us back. This is a grunge thing. I'm wearing my
your tribute
Nirvana shirts. Welcome back in. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to SactownSports.com. Search Sactown Sports on the YouTube page. Also, if you have questions for CBS Sports' Dave Richard, 916-339-1140 is your text line, 1-800-920-1140, as we welcome him in right now. Good morning, David. How was your week?
Oh, I'm staying alive.
Are you a BG?
No, he was mixing.
No.
Yeah.
I got. Yeah.
Come on, Dave.
I was with you, Dave.
You know what? It's early, Dave.
Of course you were, Jason. Yes.
How many people out there do you think were like my wife in fantasy football last night who started Jahmyr Gibbs and just happened to be playing somebody who started David Montgomery?
So that's why she was disappointed, not for other things, Dave.
Oh, it's just adds to it.
I think people are legitimately frustrated with Jahmyr Gibbs. They feel like they were sold a bad thing in draft season. And look, my hunch is twofold. Number one, that maybe he's not ready for a larger workload. Although we did see it last week, he played a lot of the snaps, just didn't have a massive game, and wasn't used as much in the passing game last week when Montgomery was out, compared to this week when Montgomery played. He had 4 catches last night, so that's a positive. But yeah, this Lions team loves David Montgomery. They love that physical brand of football. They build it behind their strong offensive line, and they're going to keep doing it, Dave. Listen, their next game is against Carolina. They can't stop the run. Tampa Bay, maybe a little bit overrated in their run defense, so Montgomery's going to have a good game there. At Baltimore, same thing as Tampa Bay. After that, Las Vegas, the Raiders aren't great against the run. So there is a clear path here for David Montgomery to be an RB1 and for Jahmyr Gibbs to make us very frustrated in fantasy. But that's just how life's going to be this year when we're looking at the Lions running backs.
Dave, going back to last week and really going forward, should we do everything we can to find any way to get Miami Dolphins on our team?
It's not a bad idea, although, River Craycraft and Braxton Berrios aren't exactly league winners, so those guys are going to be out. The matchups play a little bit of a factor, but defenses are going to be in pretzels now because if they do what the Patriots did and dare the Dolphins to run, the Dolphins are going to say, okay, cool, we're going to run it. And then if you say, well, we can't have the Dolphins run all over us, we're going to drop the safety down to the box, we're really going to focus on that, you're going to get beat over the top by Tyreek Hill and Jayden Waddle a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how Buffalo plays the Dolphins this week. Tua does not have a great track record against them. Tyreek has a good, not great track record against them. And Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Bills and a defensive guy, is going to come up with something. And it'll be interesting to see how much of it is balancing trying to slow down the run game and trying to slow down Tyreek Hill. I think the Dolphins running backs, maybe now is a good sell high time for them, just because they're definitely not going to do what they did last week against the Broncos. Every week the Broncos were a mess, and they got worse because of injuries as the game went on. But this is going to be a fun offense. Good luck getting pieces, acquiring pieces, but starting them if you've got them. Yeah, I can't hate you on that, including Achane this week as a low-end number 2 fantasy running back.
And look at the professional already correcting the Achane from Achane as the player requested, and that was my follow-up there. So you got Mostert, you have Achane. Let me throw a couple things because I know you can hit curveballs. Number one, if you happen to have both, do you start both? Number two, if you have one or the other, are they still to you, which is the more viable prospect, which leads to my third, which is okay. That being said, if you're going to trade, which one would you get off of?
I would get off of Mostert first and foremost, because let's face facts on him. While he is the lead back for the Dolphins, he's also 31 years old. He's missed significant playing time. I think it's 4 of 9 NFL seasons, Dave. And you guys remember him from his days in San Francisco where he'd have great games when he plays, but when he doesn't play, he's hurt. The other problem here, and this is what might make people stop a little bit from celebrating that fact about Mostert, if you've got Achane, the Dolphins love to use multiple running backs. It's just one of those things that Mike McDaniel believes in. I even asked him about it when I talked to him during the preseason, when they had joint practices with the Falcons. It's just going to be a staple of what they do. So even if Mostert gets hurt, Achane's going to share with somebody. It could be Savon Ahmed. It could be Jeff Wilson. And if you were frustrated with Jahmyr Gibbs sharing with David Montgomery, wait until you see what it's like when you're seeing Achane share time with Jeff Wilson. So selling high doesn't mean get rid of them at any cost. It means trying to turn Raheem Mostert into Josh Jacobs. It means trying to turn Devon Achane into Derrick Henry or Alvin Kamara, because there's just so much excitement about these Dolphin running backs over the last 7 days or so that it's not going to be sustainable. They're not going to play Denver every week. They do have some easy matchups the rest of the way, but they also have some tough matchups the rest of the way. They'll see the Jets again. They'll see the Bills not just once but twice, and we could debate whether or not Buffalo is truly a tough matchup for their running backs. But this is also a team with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Tua Tagovailoa, and they will throw the football.
Well, we're talking about trading those guys on my own personal text line, Dave. I got one from my buddy in a league. Says he was offered this trade: Devon Achane and Puka Nacua for Javonte Williams. What would you say?
Yeah, I don't know if I like that one. Read it back to me one more time because I missed part of it.
I think. Well, let me see okay, he has Javonte Williams. So they're asking for Javonte Williams. They want to give him Puka Nacua and Devon Achane.
Okay, all that for Javonte Williams? I couldn't believe it the first time you said it.
That's what I thought. I'm like, what are you thinking about?
Unless Javonte Williams became Christian McCaffrey overnight, this is a trade you make 11 times out of 10. Okay. Javonte Williams is sharing carries in Denver. He might have a good week this week because he plays Chicago, but he's not explosive. He's just not in a great spot. So if you can turn that into Nacua and Achane, I mean, get me in that league.
Exactly.
Holy moly.
I was thinking the same thing.
Where are we at with Najee Harris? There's a lot of frustration I'm seeing on the text line, and understandably so with him.
That's a grenade going off.
No, yeah.
Did that sound good? No.
No, I thought you were joking.
No, right. And guess what Najee Harris has done in each of his first 3 games this year?
Wow.
He's rarely been explosive. The offensive line's part of the problem in Pittsburgh too, but they're giving him every opportunity. And he just went over 100 yards for the season in week 3 for a guy who's getting a lot of run in that Steelers offense. If you've got him, try to bench him. If you cut him, someone will pick him up and they'll stash, hoping that he turns into something. But the guy that I touted as a sleeper all off season long was Jaylen Warren, because he's faster. He's a better pass catcher out of the backfield. And I believe that eventually, the Steelers will stop being loyal to Najee, and they will give Jaylen Warren more than half of the playing time, more than half of the carries. He's already dominating on passing downs, so you don't have to worry about that. But Jaylen Warren is the answer for this Steelers run game, if you ask me.
Who are some of your favorite plays this week, just maybe off of, not through their 3 weeks performance, but matchups and setups? Who are some of the guys you really like this week?
Let's go right to the Broncos, because they're taking on Chicago, and the Bears are just a mess on both sides of the ball, but certainly on defense. They can't get pressure on any quarterbacks. Their secondary is beat up. I am expecting a monster game from Russell Wilson. I've got Cortland Sutton as a top 20 wide receiver in PPR. Try to start Jerry Jeudy if you can. Try and stash Marvin Mims if you can. And if we're looking at matchups, I know the Steelers don't necessarily seem like a good matchup, but the way that the Texans are throwing the ball and the way that C.J. Stroud has looked, I like both Nico Collins and Tank Dell as top 30 wide receiver options. And Puka Nacua, kind of a down game last week. People a little frustrated because he didn't have a big game. And we just mentioned someone's trying to trade him to get Javonte Williams. I bet that person, Jason, was thinking that they're trying to sell high on Nacua and just get rid of him off the team because they think Cooper Kupp's going to come back and that's going to mess things up. No, it's not going to happen. You're going to see Nacua, especially against the Colts, bad secondary, zone coverage heavy. He's going to get a lot of targets and catches. Go right back to Nacua as a top 15 wide receiver this week.
CBS Sports' Dave Richard. Here's a question. Hey, speaking of the Dolphins running backs, so this guy has Raheem Mostert, Devin Achane, and Derrick Henry, and he can start 2. You keep Henry in there?
You have to keep Henry in there just because you know what he's capable of doing. And the other thing, well, hold on a second. I was about to say the other thing is that you know that Derrick Henry will get a ton of work. But we actually saw last week that he didn't.
Yeah.
Tyjae Spears played more snaps than Henry. The Titans realized pretty quickly in their game against the Browns that Derrick Henry wasn't getting it done, and they pivoted. And we've almost never seen that before from the Titans. But maybe they did that just because they know Derrick Henry's 29 years old and that they'll give him some more opportunities, so they want to take some miles off of his odometer, so to speak. I'm still going to start Henry and Mostert ahead of Achane. There's a very real chance, guys, that Achane gets 10 carries or 10 touches and gets 70 yards and doesn't score.
Yeah.
And we've seen it dozens. Dave, you've been playing fantasy football forever. You've seen these flashes in the pan show up one week and they're going crazy, huge numbers, and then the next week they're total dust.
The Sammy Watkins Memorial game.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this could be one of those things. Kyron Williams, okay, the first 2 weeks of the season, he was scoring touchdowns like crazy. In week number 3, total dud. And he had his opportunities, but a total dud against Cincinnati, which, by the way, is the defense that Derrick Henry's running against this week.
Dave, what do you do with Saints running back Alvin Kamara? Are you waiting to see this week, or is he an immediate start? Where do you think his fantasy future is?
It really depends on who else you have at running back, but I'm definitely going to use Mostert over him. Zach Moss has been hot, and this is pretty much his last game, potentially, as the lead back in Indianapolis. We'll see what happens with Jonathan Taylor coming back. So I'll use those guys ahead of Alvin Kamara. I might lean toward DeAndre Swift over Kamara as well. But after that, there aren't a lot of running backs that you look at and go, all right, he's awesome, must-start type of a guy. And Kamara does have must-start potential. I already told you that the Bucs' run defense, a little bit overrated. I think we're going to see Alvin Kamara come back to a nice workload. Maybe not necessarily get a ton of catches because it's Jameis under center, and Jameis tends to look forward when he throws, not off to the side with his running backs. But I think Kamara could be good for, let's call it 110 total yards. Decent shot to score, decent shot to get 3 catches in the game. I don't think that's asking too much. I've got him ranked appropriately as a top 15 running back.
Last question for you. I'll kind of combine the two here. Is Mike Evans a guy who's had a hot start that you might look to move because it's not sustainable? And conversely, is a guy like Breece Hall a guy who's had not a great start, but you might look to pick up for value?
We're starting to see Breece Hall's playing time pick up over the last couple of weeks, and he's not doing anything with it over the last 2 weeks. But I think there's going to come a time where he's a must start in fantasy. Eventually, the Jets are going to get rid of Zach Wilson. He's a problem. Yeah. And when they do, that offense will run better, even if it's with Trevor Siemian. So I like the idea of Breece Hall as a buy low candidate. The problem is that everybody that has Breece Hall, Dave, they're going to hold on and wait for him. So you're going to have to give up something kind of decent to get him on your team. And Mike Evans has been on fire. The target share has been the key for him. Over 9 targets per game this season. Baker Mayfield's looking for him, and it's on short throws. It's not the deep throws that Tom Brady was throwing to him last year. I like him as a flex this week because he's got a terrible history against the Saints. But most weeks, you're going to start Mike Evans and feel good about it. I would not consider him a sell high.
I lied. Super last question, but really quick because I'm looking at injury reports here. Brandon Ayuk was limited yesterday, but he did practice. Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings both didn't practice. So lo and behold, the Niners may have some receiver issues going into the weekend. Does that make anyone there or anybody on the Niners that you go, okay, now all of a sudden this person might be a must start?
Well, George Kittle definitely has been a must-start in fantasy, but now we really, really like him. Not only is the matchup great and his history great against Arizona, but he's going to have an opportunity to see elevated targets if one of those wide receivers is out. I think Ayuk plays. This isn't necessarily the best matchup for him, but he's got upside that you just can't ignore. And maybe this is the opportunity for Ronnie Bell, who might be one of my second favorite deep league stashes. I'll give you the name of the first guy, Keaton Mitchell in Baltimore, running back, especially if you've got IR spots, stash him. But Ronnie Bell might also be worth the stash if there's no Deebo and no Juwan Jennings come Sunday.
That is Dave Richards, CBS Sports. You know, if Miami has another great weekend against that Bills defense, and let's say Mostert has another 2 or 3 touchdowns, we'll start referring to him as Raheem Mustard.
That's a good one. I like it.
And
if he's terrible, then you might call him Raheem Mustard.
Why did that get me? What's going on? Where can people hear, see, and read these wonderful soliloquies from Dave Richards?
And the puns, really, that just really makes it. You've got to run to the internet and search for Dave Richards, CBS Sports on Google. You'll find all my content. We do start-sit advice. We've got easy cheat sheets that help you figure out who to start. Lineup decisions where I give you my analysis on why these non-obvious players are starts or sits, plus a podcast that you can download wherever you get your podcast, plus a YouTube video. Just search for Fantasy Football Today on both of those platforms, podcast and on YouTube, and we'll help you get set. We already did a preview of Week 1, 2-parter episode on YouTube right now. Search for Fantasy Football Today.
That's Dave Richards each and every Friday, helping your weekend turn into a wonderful fantasy weekend. Appreciate you, brother. Talk to you soon.
You got it. Good luck in your leagues this weekend, gentlemen.
Thank you, David Richard. We'll take a break. When we come back, 3 for Madness brought to you by Fire Wings. Harrison Barnes will set you straight on some of the conversation floating around him. We'll go back to Dame Lillard as well. We'll talk about that. It's an all-NBA 3 for Madness next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
Greg Papa will join us at 8:12 today.
Papa.
And his now regular time. Let's just move him to 8:12.
Let's do it.
Every day. I know it's supposed to be 8, but I think it works a little better for him at 8:12.
We want to make it work better for him.
We do want to make it look better for him. So we'll talk to him there. And coming up next, we got all kinds of fun for you in the 8 o'clock hour as well. Friday Fun and Games also as well. It's a beautiful day. I had a little reflux going on there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, brought to you by Fire Wings. 21 different flavors to choose from. Fire Wings, just wing it. Here is Chris Berlod, noted job killer with question number 1.
Harrison Barnes cannot be traded until the end of December. Should that effectively end any talk of Jrue Holiday?
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to get clarification on yesterday, because I and by the way, this isn't me calling anybody out. I'm as guilty of this as anyone, because the cap rules in the NBA are incredibly ambiguous to those of us that don't have access like GMs and team officials do. There's different information everywhere, but I did confirm yesterday he cannot be traded, Harrison Barnes, before December 29th. He can't be. So without Harrison Barnes in a deal, I was actually, just for this segment during the break, I was looking at the NBA trade machine. You literally, the only way not involving Fox and Sabonis that this actually works realistically, you'd have to trade Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, and Davion Mitchell. You'd still probably, Portland had said or leaked out that it's going to start at 2 first-round draft picks. The Kings don't have the room to do that and absorb the salary, so they'd have to include those guys. First off, with Jrue Holiday's contract situation and age, and I love Jrue Holiday, I think he'd be a great addition. I don't want to trade Monk, Huerter, and Mitchell, and you just completely decimated your backcourt, not to mention talent for talent. I think we can all. I know when players become available, we all no, this is not. It's not happening.
Yeah, I feel like does it effectively end it? Probably, I guess technically no, but your caveat, if it doesn't involve Fox and Sabonis, which I'm sure the Kings aren't interested in that, so it does feel like it does. And or after that time, but I don't think Jrue Holiday will be a Blazer then. I think this is going to be expedited, and some team will hit those benchmarks for the Blazers. So the Kings should inquire, should look into it. I just, sometimes you just can't get it done. I think they're going to be one of those teams.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, you could take one of those guys out and throw Keegan Murray in if you really want to do it and reunite him with Chris.
It doesn't make me feel
better. I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm not pretty sure. I guarantee you, put a poll out. Would you trade, if it worked, which it doesn't, would you trade Keegan Murray straight up for Jrue Holiday? I think the results would be 99 to 1% no, and the 1% would be like Blazer fans or people from out. Like, nobody's trading Keegan Murray for that. For Jrue. And then, like I said, you're not going to do the other stuff. I don't. This ain't the one.
No, it'll be one when he gets traded to another team. You go, oh man, I wish the Kings. But then when you really look at it, you go, I just don't think it made sense.
No, not at all. Number 2.
Question 2.
Damian Lillard posted an 8-page goodbye to the city of Portland last night. Was it perhaps the best goodbye letter ever from an athlete?
Yes, I couched it with perhaps because I don't have a source where I can look at every goodbye letter ever.
I keep those.
Do you keep them on a little shoebox? This was a wonderful goodbye. You wouldn't expect anything less from Damian Lillard. And look, I'm not a Blazer fan, so I don't really understand why anybody on the Blazers or anybody who's a Blazer fan could be upset at Dame Lillard, but yet here we are, and there are fans that are upset at Damian Lillard, and that's fine. You get emotional, you get attached to your players, and sometimes you get too attached, and it clouds your vision. I don't see how anyone could look at Damian Lillard and think, had he forced his way to Miami and had that trade happen, and had it been a bad trade, there's a little more reason. This was a good value trade for Portland, considering where they're going. The fact that they drafted Scoot Henderson, they didn't get screwed on the deal, and Dame wanted to move on. He gave the franchise every chance possible. He wants a ring, and he went to arguably the best fit, best place he could go to get that ring. In my mind, there's a part of me as a Lillard fan that thought, in a different world, had they not already made moves, Lillard finishing his career on the Warriors would be kind of cool because he's from Oakland. But then the other part of me was like, screw them. So overall, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I feel like, there was some breadcrumbs coming out a little bit yesterday on some of the stories and the reporting about how, even the beginning of it, it seemed like Dame's camp, was very, very loyal, wanted probably the Blazers to put it out there that they would be pursuing a trade. Instead, it got forced to where Dame had to be the one to kind of strike first. So he puts that out there. Then you're reading reports that once Miami seemed to be out of play, he was willing to rescind the trade and come back to the Blazers. Then they say, like, we're at the point of no return. Like, there's some meat there that I'm really curious how it all really goes down.
You're 100% right about all these nuggets, all of those. And the one that I actually think is kind of getting buried a little bit, and I believe it was Chris Haynes who reported it, so shouts to him and apologies if it wasn't. And I'm paraphrasing, but was that Lillard was asked to sit at the end of the season by the franchise for lottery positioning. In other words, that calf injury, the implication there is that the calf injury didn't exist and he was asked to sit. With these new rules coming in and the emphasis, I fully expect the NBA to launch an investigation. In fact, they've already launched, I guarantee you, phone calls. But they may launch a formal investigation to see if the Blazers literally sat this guy, I would say, for a couple of reasons. Number one, lottery positioning, which there's a little bit of fraud there, but that exists. But also, don't want to take a chance he gets hurt at the end of the year. You're not able to trade him if they knew this trade request was coming. Stay tuned on that piece because I think that's going to be a big deal here in the next couple of weeks.
Could be.
Number 3.
Question 3.
Dame also said in his letter it wouldn't be the last time he was in a Blazers uniform. Do you believe him?
I believe that he means it. And again, maybe it's like we said earlier, that might be one of those, he signs with the Blazers for a 10-day deal so he can retire as a Blazer. But in the end, I think Dame's got probably, I don't know, let's say over under 3.5 years left, 4 years left. Of good, solid Dame Lillard. I could see him, especially if he wins a title, I could see him going back to Portland. I mean, work for LeBron. Yeah, I could see him going back to Portland at least for his last year. And so I'm going to choose to believe that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything, to my knowledge, that's like fake or phony or about Dame. I really think he's authentic. I think he would like it to be. I think he's trying to speak it into existence. And even if it ends up being like the thing you mentioned before, maybe he signs a contract post-retirement, says, I'm retiring as a Blazer. And, that Blazer uniform then likely is who he wants to be. He's representing the Hall of Fame, those kind of things. So, but I think he's talking about trying to be on the court as a Blazer.
Right.
That's the part that's intriguing.
Well, he is signed for the next 3 years with the Milwaukee Bucks. He has a player option for $63 million.
I think he'll opt in.
I think he will, but I also wonder if, if Milwaukee wins at least one title in the next 3 years, I could see that situation where, honestly, and I know this is Disney and Blue Sky, I could see a situation where Dame goes, hey, you know what, I'm going to opt out and I'll give you a little hometown discount, come and maybe by that time, 3-time All-Star Scoot Henderson and 2-time All-Star Shaden Sharp are really giving him a push, and he comes in to maybe be the sixth man. You know, takes a low rate $15 million to, I don't know. But I could see it's fun to think about. We'll take it.
How ironic would it be though if he does not win with the Bucks? Blazers put it together, and he's like the missing piece.
Oh my God! No! This is where I thought you were going, because this would be even better. He goes to the Bucks, they don't win one, and 3 years from now, the Blazers win a championship without him. Oh my God!
But you're enjoying that? How funny would that be?
I think it would be. It's funny, and this is great. Also, by the way, shout out to Jody Allen, the widow of the late great Paul Allen, who owned the club. Shout out to her for not publishing a letter scathing Damian Lillard for his disloyalty and leaving the team. It's a Dan Gilbert move with LeBron. Just good on her for not, that's neat. Still can't believe LeBron went back there, by the way, either with the same owner. We'll take a break. Honestly, the frown on the fan base's face in Portland, probably nothing compared to the frowny piles of poop that you find in your backyard each and every day. If your doggy's gut health isn't healthy. Welcome in. All right, well, Dave. Talking to you about Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food. Bark, bark. Family owned and operated for 50 years. No shareholders. The shareholders are the doggies. So they do what's right for the dogs. It's the fastest growing premium dog food in the entire country. Why? Well, I'll give you one reason. It's made with organic seaweed. High protein, powerful oxidants. Antioxidants. Not powerful oxidants. Powerful antioxidants and superfoods that help support healthy digestion and intestinal health. Yes, that's right. Comes in 6 recipes and 3 sizes. 6 recipes, all interchangeable. And I'll tell you what, I don't think she'd mind. My dear friend and yours, Katie Christensen, she thrives on creating things for herself to do because she can't ever sit down. So she's got her 2 dogs, the one psycho one and the other giant one. And she literally makes their dog food. I will call her and she's like, "Oh, I'm just making the dog food." Well, it saves money. Well, first off, I doubt it. Secondly, I'm going to drop her off a bag of Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food. Bark, bark. She'll still probably try to make her own dog food. That's fine, but don't be a Katie. Help your puppies out. Protein, antioxidants, superfoods, no corn, no wheat, no soy. Helps maintain intestinal health. Get it at Safeway, Save Mart, Smart and Final, Winco. And go to SupremeSourcePet.com for more information. Hey, Supreme Source Super Premium. That'd be great. Super Premium Dog Food. Talk, Dave. Do your puppy dog a solid. Literally. We'll take a break. When we come back, talk a little Niners. Got some audio for you. And Greg Papa joins us at 8:13. Don't go away. We're back in 1 minute.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Tim McGraw. In concert. The Standing Room Only Tour 2024. A night filled with your favorite songs. Golden One Center, Saturday, June 29th. With special guest Carly Pierce. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Tim McGraw live in Sacramento.
Fall is here, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling wants to make sure you're taken care of through the month of September. From now until September 30th, book any tune-up or troubleshooting appointment and get 100% of the trip charge credited back on any completed repairs. Normal big box companies charge $89 or more. Why not put that toward what needs to be fixed? Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now at 530-GOOD-AIR. That's 530-GOOD-AIR. Or book your appointment now at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1577618.
Sacramento State football is back at home this Saturday night versus Northern Arizona. Kickoff 6 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 4 of the NFL kicked off yesterday with the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Lions running back David Montgomery had a huge night. He had 121 yards on 32 carries and 3 touchdowns to get the win at Lambeau Field. On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers host the Cardinals. You can listen to the Niners game this Sunday with pregame at 12:25 and kickoff scheduled for 1:25 right here on Sactown Sports. The 44th Ryder Cup is currently underway at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, and Europe is up big after they swept the foursomes round to take a 4-0 lead over the U.S. Your Ryder Cup update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood Home Furnishing, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Those are your headlines. Now back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, Greg Papa in about 12 minutes from now, voice of the San Francisco 49ers. We'll talk to him ahead of this weekend's big matchup.
Yeah, I wonder if you asked Dave Richard, I wonder if look, the Niners are favored, should be favored. If they do their thing, they should win. But,
yes.
You look for little things here and you go, wait, Ayuk's a little banged up.
Debo
didn't practice.
Juan Jennings didn't practice.
Okay, you start to...
Wish you would have brought this up before I picked him as my Survivor team.
You can, you can't because there's Thursday, right? You can't go back and change it, can you?
Who did you pick?
Oh, God. Who did I pick? I think I picked the Chiefs.
Okay.
Taylor Swift game in New
Taylor
York
Swift
against
game.
the Jets. This is not the greatest week for absolute guaranteed stompings. Yeah, I picked the Chiefs. Okay. Who'd you pick?
Trying to think of it.
Well, wait, we can.
You want me to check the email?
Oh my God! Show you can't see the look I'm getting.
Oh no, I can see it.
All right, let's move on to some audio real quick. Zach Wilson's been getting
toilet team.
Where'd you get your teams? The toilet team.
I'll say this: in the Survivor League one year, Jason picked who was it? Jason?
Week 1. Not that I remember this. Week 1. Colts, Jags.
Okay.
Easy win for the Colts. Rookie quarterback Gardner Minshew for the Jags. Easy. Jacksonville won. So I'm like, oh man. So out week 1. Jacksonville went 1-15.
Oh my God.
They won one game. It wasn't like they were 5 and
God.
They won one game.
I think they won one more game.
I don't think so.
I think, but there was definitely like a 10-game list.
That's how they got Trevor Lawrence.
That's how they got Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Oh
I think they won week 1. They might have won the last week because everybody didn't care, but I think they only won 1.
We also, before we get to audio here, have minor, tiny breaking news from the NBA. Minor and tiny because it's not the Kings and it's a player no longer in the NBA, but you might remember Josh Primo was out of the league. Spurs waived him, which was surprising because Josh Primo was a pretty well-regarded young player. The NBA has now suspended him for 4 games for what it terms as conduct detrimental. He allegedly, this according to Adrian Wojnarowski, exposed himself to women in multiple instances. He will serve the suspension upon signing with a new team. He is 20 years old. He was the 12th pick in the 2021 NBA draft. So there you go. Zach Wilson has been getting the same look you just gave me from a lot of Jets fans and former Jets players, even like Joe Namath. And the thing is this, it's I say it all the time. It's not show friends, it's show business. It doesn't matter how cute you are in your family. It doesn't matter how nice you are. It doesn't matter, get the job done. Just get the job done. Zach Wilson is not getting the job done. He's the opposite of getting the job done. But dang it, he makes it hard to root against him. Here was Zach getting up, honestly, showing some fire, getting upset at what Joe Namath said about him.
And he's passionate. He's obviously one of the greats. And so us as an offense, we got to do everything we can just to try and prove him wrong, keep doing what we can and improve. I think the guys are feeling very optimistic. We all believe in each other. We're all right there. So excited for this week.
Here's Zach Wilson grading himself.
Yeah, obviously, Joe is an unbelievable player, but this locker room is very tight-knit, and we're working to get better. I'm working to get better. I know I need to improve, and I promise I'm doing everything I can to keep trying to get better. And so the focus is just to rely on each other in this locker room and lean on each other because that's all we got at the end of the day, and we're going to do everything we can to keep improving.
Come on, Zach. He's such a nice kid, and he's getting beamed by everyone from every direction. And he does not. You know what? I think that if I'm Robert Saleh, here's what I do. I hire the guy that kept calling Adam Sandler Needle D in the movie. Needle D.
Just to get him.
Just at some point we need Zach Wilson and just go off.
Yeah.
He needs to be waterboyed. Someone needs to get in Zach Wilson's ear and find out whatever pisses him off. Get his little rosy cheeks rosier.
Apparently nothing at this moment.
Apparently nothing.
Or Saleh needs to go to the media and says, "You want to come after someone? Come after me. I'm a man.
I'm a man. I'm 46 or whatever he is."
Later in celebrity birthdays.
Oh, is Robert? Is he?
No.
Oh, I have 7 kids. Is it 7? I think he has 7.
Yeah, he has 7. 6 or 7, right?
I
think it's 6. Maybe it's 7.
I think it's 7.
Okay.
You know what? We'll figure that out.
We're under.
Friday
6
Funny
and a
Games.
half.
How many kids does Robert Saleh have?
Yes. How many kids this player has? Yeah.
Here's a guy that's a failure. Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator for the Bears. I mean, by failure, I mean job failure. Talking about expectations on Justin Fields.
Our expectations have always been the same. It's about him getting better each and every week and making sure that he's mastering what we're doing from our perspective and being the leader of that unit. And I think he's doing a really nice job in the midst of a lot of right now going on that he's been manning up and he's taking the leadership role for these guys. So it's been good to see him be able to put it on his shoulders and be the guy that wants to help make this thing get right.
You know, what's interesting about when you started playing that, I was thinking about the Bears matchup this weekend with the Broncos. And one thing I hate about the NFL, I've said it before, is I hate ties. I think they're just worthless.
Yes.
This should never happen. So every week there's a game that's close, late, and I'll get a text from Chris with a flashing red light, tie alert. If there's ever a game that needed to tie,
it'd be this one.
Yeah.
You know what I want? I want this game to be like one of the games of the year. Wouldn't that be funny if it just ended up, they just both just start, Russell Wilson's, Justin Fields, they just go crazy. It's 46-45. Totally not going to happen. I would say this is the fired bowl, except they just hired Sean Payton.
Yeah, he's safe.
But honestly, what would add to this is what would make this wonderful is if like both owners came out and issued a joint statement that whichever coach loses this game, they lose their job. Yeah. Now all of a sudden we're all watching.
Yeah, or here's your college football idea of relegation.
Yes.
Loser
has to go to USFL, XFL, yeah, because they merged. The problem is that depending on what's going on in the locker room, but if it got announced that the losing coach would lose their job, you might have all the players just tanking. It's like, no, please get rid of this guy. One other note, this isn't even from the NFL, but I don't know where else to put this clip. Somebody asked recently, Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, we hear this a lot, who's the best point guard? I believe this is Magic Johnson talking about it.
If he got more than 5 championships, If he got more than 3 finals MVP and 3 league MVPs, then he's the greatest. If he got more than number 1 in assists all time in the finals, number 2 in double-doubles, number 1 in triple-doubles, all time in the NBA playoffs, number 4 in steals all time in the playoffs. If he got more than those numbers, he's the best.
Well said. Let me ask you this. Look at that. Usually those GOAT debates don't end very quickly. Magic Johnson dropping the hammer here on CBS Sports Radio.
No, I'm just saying, if he got more than all those things, he's the best. But the last time I checked, he doesn't. So, but everybody has to, decide for themselves who they think the best is.
It's a pretty good answer. I like that. I don't mind it. We always talk about old heads coming in. The game's not where it used to be. I don't mind old heads coming in and if they're asked about it, defending their record. I don't mind that because that honestly, that as somebody like you who watched Magic Johnson growing up, that's the same exact confident swagger and fire he had on the court at 60 whatever years old he's at right now. It's the same guy.
Yeah.
He's saying, and I don't know that I agree with him. I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but he certainly, if that's his closing arguments in the court case, it's a pretty good closing argument.
He's backed it up with some pretty good numbers. Thanks, Magic.
What do you think? Is it between those two, first off?
Of point guards?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I said that the difficult part is
Mark Price shade. Okay. Mark Price? No.
Really?
No.
You went there instead of
there's
Stockton, Isaiah,
Chris Paul,
yeah.
But no.
I really think they played the position so differently, and I haven't always thought of Steph as a point guard, though he probably is. Right?
What's funny is a lot of people don't think of Magic Johnson as a point guard, though he definitely was. Yeah. It really is kind of interesting when you compare those two because Steph Curry is a little butterfly that's rolling around and nailing everything from outside. 3, doing his thing, running all over the court. And Magic Johnson was a point guard that was super tall and really revolutionary. It's funny because in their own way, they both revolutionized that position in completely opposite ways.
Right. And if we were debating quarterbacks literally in the sport, you can't play 2 at the same time. I mean, you could play 2 in the same game, but you're not playing 2 quarterbacks. They honestly could have been teammates.
1,000,000,000%.
So we're debating a specific position. You go put them on the same team, and that team's going to be awesome because they could complement each other.
And I think more than likely you'd have like Steph at the 1 and then Magic at the 2. I mean, he literally played the 5 in the finals, but
you could switch them. Like maybe Magic's on the ball more, and if Steph's running around, Magic can find him.
But to be fair in the argument, Steph can't go anywhere beyond the 2, right?
Correct. Yeah, Magic can play multiple positions, but that also, I mean, sure, that could be an argument for him, but I mean, shooting, I don't think is even remotely close. But then there's other. It's a silly debate.
We'll take a break. It is a silly debate.
Yeah. It's silly.
It's silly. Well, we'll continue this sometime in July.
Okay.
When we come back, Voice of the Niners, Greg Papa on SactownSports.com, your home of the Niners.
NFC West rival Arizona heads to Santa Clara
to take on the 49ers at Levi Stadium.
Pregame starts at 12:25, followed by kickoff at 1:25 on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. And now through November, purchase Certainty with Beacon Pro Plus, web or app, and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
At Bank of America, we asked our employees what they wanted most.
I want to work where everyone is welcome.
To have benefits that take good care of my family.
To move forward in my career.
We listened and did all that and more. It's why we're proud to be Just Capital's #1 top company to work for. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Just Capital used annual rankings that track performance across the 5 worker-related issues evaluated. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and vocal.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
I absentmindedly forgot to do this last week, and I really, you know this, Jason, as soon as we got off the phone with Brett Papa, I chided myself. And I've had all week to feel guilty about it, so I want to open the interview. You know, a couple days before Greg joined us, it was announced that his partner, Tim Ryan, had his contract extended, and that both Papa and Ryan would be together for, I don't know how many years, but I'm assuming at least 20. At least it was at least a 20-year extension. So I know that wasn't Greg's extension, but the group stays together.
Yeah,
that obviously means they're loved by both public and their superiors. So congratulations, Greg, in a roundabout way on keeping the broadcast team together for a while longer.
Without a doubt. And I knew about it. Tim actually agreed to that contract a while ago, and they announced it. Was it before the home opener?
Yeah.
I guess is the timing of it. So now we're under contract for the exact same amount of time. I think it's the rest of my life, but Tim being a much younger man, he's probably got a few years. It's funny, when I did the Raider games, I only signed 1-year deals.
Really?
Never signed. I did them for 21 years.
Can I
did
ask
21.
why?
Because I was young, and I don't think it was ever presented to me to sign a multi-year, and I just wanted to keep my options open to do something else. And frankly, with Al Davis, I didn't need anything more than a 1-year contract, because there were so many times one time they tried to cut my salary, and Mark Bedane looked at me because that's not going to work, is it? And I said no, because my relationship with Al was so strong, I didn't need any more than that. So it's nice, to this stage of my life to have a long-term deal. It's just a different time where I'm not looking to go and do here, there, and everywhere and crisscross the country to do games. It's a little easier to do one. And Tim's the best. He's the best analyst in football, period, radio or TV. Worked in TV for a long, long time. Bob Sargent was able to lure him back to the Bay Area. Grew up in San Jose. He's around the team every single day. And I remember the coaching staff. So, and I think our deals go to 28. I honestly don't even know. I think they kick it now into like a 6-year extension. So 4 years in, it'll be a 10-year run. So I thought the clause in the contract was that Tim and I have the longest contracts in the organization.
Wow.
And then John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan signed these contract extensions the other day. And no. But I actually had to sit down with Kyle. Hopefully you guys are able to get my game plan interview on NBC Sports Bay Area in California up there. He actually divulged that people thought that he was under contract through 2025. That was not true. He said his contract expired after next season, which would be 24.
Wow.
So there was a little bit of not urgency, but when you get towards the end with a guy, Kyle of his acclaim. So nice to be able to get John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan extended, and they've been together 7 more years, and who knows, they may go 7 more. They've been together for 7, so we'll see. And as Tim always says, the ultimate goal is to party with Lombardi. That would not be Michael Lombardi or David Lombardi. It would be Vince, who's no longer with us, and his trophy, emblematic of the Super Bowl champions. And, man, they're off to a great start this year.
For sure. Greg, looking at this week, obviously a lot of things look favorable. You still got to go out there and compete. We all saw what the Cardinals did to Dallas. But Dave and I were just saying, how concerned should we be about the health of the wide receivers going into this week?
I think that's going to be the interesting thing today, when Kyle gives the update, how they declare both Deebo Samuel and Jawan Jennings. Jawan didn't do much this week. So Deebo, we knew he had the rib injury. He fell on the ball. And he had a couple of plays, one where he broke 4 tackles on one play. And then the play he got hurt, he had 2 tackles broken. And then at the end of it, he kind of got kneed a little bit in the ribs by Dory Jackson, the Giants corner from USC. But I think what he said is that he fell on the ball, which happens. But he came right back in, and he caught that stutter and go back shoulder touchdown. But he's also got a knee issue, which I think is more of a problem. So I think that's the story going into the game, is the health of those 2 receivers. Brandon Ayuk is back. He'll be fine. for the game, looking as good as ever. But if you don't have Debo and you don't have Juwan, then obviously Ray McLeod steps up, and Ronnie Bell. How about Ronnie Bell? First 2 touches in the NFL. First one's a touchdown. The second one's that deflected ball. He's also become a really good gunner. And then, if you don't have either guy, I think Chris Conley will also come up and play some, and they may have to do something with another receiver. So I think that's going to be key in how they designate both Juwan and Debo today. Are they declared out for the game? Are they limited? Are we taking it into Sunday? So right now, it looks like Ayuk's back, and Debo and Juwan are big question marks.
Greg Papa with us. It's a copycat league, as you well know more than anyone. And ex-Niner staffer Mike McDaniel's doing some wonderful things in Miami, as we saw on display with that 70 burger. And Kyle Shanahan, in his comments the day before yesterday, I think he was calling it cheat action. The Tyreek cheat motion, excuse me, and is already integrated. Where do you see that going? Do you think the NFL at some point? Everyone's talking about the tush push with Jalen Hurts. Do you think the NFL at some point is going to come in and mess with this, or do you think Mike McDaniel, is beating the system here in a good way?
No, this is completely legitimate. What Philly is doing, that was not allowed in the NFL until like 2006. And then when did Reggie Bush, the Bush push in USC, when did they do it? Right around then. That was never allowed. I don't like that rule. And I think it's just because it's kind of just weird how it works. And I think you're going to get hurt. Jason Kelsey, this Eagles center, every time they run that play, I look for him. Is he going to get up?
Yeah.
How do they do that? I mean, he's getting low. The other team's getting low. Dallas drafted a mountain of a man. How do you pronounce his first name? Mozzie Smith, specifically to stop that play. He's a nose tackle. Now, he'll do other things, but they got to figure out a way to stop that because they convert it every time. Anytime it's 3rd and 1, they're going to do it. They're going to do it on 4th and 1. And I guess they don't like the tush push. They call it the brotherly shove in Philadelphia. To me, I think that play's got to go, and I think that they looked at it a little bit in the offseason. The motion, that's been going on for football forever and ever. Bill Walsh with Jerry Rice, and I call it yo-yo motion. I think that's what they called it back then, where Jerry would come in motion across behind the line of scrimmage, say he's heading left to right, get outside the tackle right, turn and come back the other direction, get to the center, and then turn and come back the other way, and they would hide him behind the offensive line, and you could never get to him. This is the same concept and Jerry, no one ever caught Jerry from behind, but Jerry was 4'7"? Tyreek Hill's the streak. He's the cheetah. He's 4'3". And they're doing it a little bit differently than a lot of the jet sweep motion, where he's actually coming outside of the Z wide receiver and he crosses the tackle and then he gets wide and he's kind of running behind the other receiver. It's kind of a little pick motion, but it's just extreme speed. It's been going on forever. I mean, one of the things that I saw with Andy Reid when he had a young Tyreek Hill and we didn't know who this guy was, what was he, a 6th-round draft pick? Andy embraced all the spread motion, the option stuff, and he hired Chris Holt, who invented the pistol at Nevada collegiately. He hired Brad Childress, a former NFL head coach, and the job he gave him, and this was 10 years ago, spread game coordinator. You're like, what's that? He saw what was going on in college football with everything shotgun spread, and he used Tyreek Hill's. It was all jet sweep, the jet pass, and Alex Smith was amazing at it. It was like, how do they hand this ball off? Tyreek Hill is a track star. He hits the left guard, and boom, they snap it, and he turns it again. It's like, wow, how do they do that? So this is just now an evolution of the jet sweep with Tyreek Hill. Belichick had a plan for it when they played him with 2. He played 3 safeties across the middle, and he waited on him. Don't run with him on that. Run to where he is or where he's going. So I think they'll figure it out. It's not that revolutionary. I think that little action is the way he's doing it outside of the Z wide receiver might be. But I've seen it. I mean, you've been to I remember going to a San Jose SaberCat game, and I went to a few of them. I thought they were fun. The main action that I saw is that the wide receivers get to run downhill towards the line of scrimmage. Wow, what a concept! That was amazing. And but you're in a hockey arena, So there's not that much field. You're like always in the red zone. What if you did that outside? You couldn't do it. Well, you know what? The Canadian Football League does it. And they didn't always do that, but now they allow their guys to run downfield. So, no, that's just horizontal motion they've been doing in the NFL for forever and ever and ever. And it's I'll be anxious to see what Buffalo does with it with Matt Milano. I think, Dave, I'm pulling for my Bills in this game. And I think the Buffalo's defense is good, and they got two good safeties, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. And they got Matt Milano, one of the fastest linebackers in football. So I think they could easily adapt and they've got other safeties as well. Maybe DeMar Hamlin's up for this game. They got a bunch of safeties. And maybe they would adapt what Belichick did. I'm sure they'll use some of that to slow them down. You just got to get up on top of them. But no, the brotherly shove, the tush push should be outlawed. What they're doing with Tyreek Hill has been going on forever in football. Just a little bit of a new wrinkle off of it.
Yeah. Greg, final minute we have here. Just real quick thought on Arizona. They've obviously, their compete level has been great. I think they've surprised some people how they've been in every game and then beating the Cowboys. What are your areas of concern with this matchup?
Their physicality, Jason. They led every game going to the fourth quarter. They were on top of Washington going to the fourth quarter and lost. They had the Giants down 20-0 at halftime, 28-7 deep into the third quarter, lost. And then the Dallas game, they jumped on them and they beat them. So I think they're a little bit like the Rams to me, where what are they doing in the offseason? They're cutting all their best players. I mean, they cut DeAndre Hopkins right off the team. They cut their quarterback, Colt McCoy, right off the team. Are they tanking? Are they trying to get Caleb Williams? The Rams getting rid of Jalen Ramsey and getting rid of all the great players they had on that team over the years. What are they doing? I think a lot of what they were doing was getting more like the Niners and being more physical. The Rams are tired of the Niners pushing them around, and they were more competitive when we were there in week 2. They wanted to be more physical. And I think Arizona's going back to what they were when Steve Wilkes was the head coach in 2018 before they hired Kingsbury and they went air raid. They're getting more, coming at you. And they have a vertical running game. It's a downhill. They call it, you're going to love this, cram it vertical. One of my favorite. And I think of that great Frank Zappa song.
It's a great movie.
Ago, Dave, great movie, but we probably can't play the whole song. FCC will be up our cram it. But, so they put the quarterback in the shotgun, and they run James Conner coming downhill. And it's not an outside zone running game. It's like Washington's old school with Joe Gibbs and Joe Bugle. It's power roll and counters and coming at you. And James Conner's 233 pounds. He's a beast. We have seen him trample the 49ers before. Even a couple of years ago in 21, when the 49ers went to the NFC Championship game, they came in here and trucked the 49ers, led by James Conner. And then who's this quarterback? Joshua Dobbs. Unbelievable story.
Can't get his own jersey. He can't get his own jersey at the team store.
Now they have it. Now they have number 9 there. Yeah. But he's 28 years old. He hardly played in the NFL. We always say, playing quarterback in the NFL is not rocket science. It is, because this guy is literally a rocket scientist. That's what his degree is in. What is it? Aerospace engineering. So, wow. And he's fast. He's got a rocket arm. It's amazing to me. The guy didn't go to training camp with them. He wasn't on their roster all offseason. They trade for him August 24th. They cut Colt McCoy off the roster, and I'm like, they're going to give the job to Josh Dobbs? This guy's playing so well right now. He's not throwing an INT. He can run. He's smart, obviously, and he's got a rocket arm, and he's tough. He's physically tough. I saw him run over a giant safety on the goal line a few weeks ago to score a touchdown. So the 49ers are the better team. I expect they'll win this game. But Arizona has rebuilt themselves to be a physically tough football team.
That is the voice of the San Francisco 49ers, Greg Papa, signed through 2045, we hope, along with his partner, which, when he turned...
How old will I be in 2045?
50-ish. And when he turned to his partner after he got finished signing the new contract, he said, how's it feel?
When I got to the Bay Area, Jay, where I broke into the NBA, I was 21 years old.
Wow. Jeez.
I'm going to have my 61st birthday coming up in weeks. Wow, 40 years. Wow.
When you asked him how he felt about signing a contract extension, did he turn to you and say, "Feels great, baby"?
Feels great, baby.
I had to get that joke out.
That's exactly what he said. Exactly what he said.
Have a wonderful call and good luck to your Bills on the side.
Thank you, guys. Let's talk to you next Friday.
All right. That is Greg Papa, the voice of the Niners. You can hear that interview and more archived at Sactownsports.com and on the app. Speaking of interviews, Emil Fragoso sat down with our very own Eric Armstead out at the Niners facility. We'll play some clips of that at 9 in just about a half an hour. We've got Friday Fun and Games, celebrity birthdays. We're going streaking. That's all happening next hour as well. But 4 Down Territory, a late version for the weekend, coming up next, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf.
It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa
on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. We're looking at a pretty nice day with sunny skies to start, a few clouds by the afternoon, and we'll feel a bit more of a breeze later on. Temperatures will top out today in the lower 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
The city of Sacramento offers grass conversion rebates to help you replace your thirsty lawn with a naturally water-efficient landscape. Whether you own a home or business in Sacramento, you may be eligible. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916 520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 4 of the NFL kicked off yesterday with the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Lions running back David Montgomery had a huge night. He had 121 yards on 32 carries and 3 touchdowns to get the win at Lambeau. The 44th Ryder Cup is currently underway at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, and Europe is up big. They swept the foursomes round to take a 4-0 lead over the U.S. Your Ryder Cup update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now, let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Oh, welcome back. From the 209 on our text line, listening to Greg Papa is like listening to your grandpa tell stories. I can listen to him all day.
Grandpapa.
Young. I agree. Grandpa or no. I could listen to Greg tell stories.
Easy.
Really, I mean, Story Time of Greg Papa should be a podcast.
Yeah.
Because he probably has 30,000.
Well, just the greatest memory.
Ever.
Yeah.
I think it should be hosted by Eric Hasseltine with special guest Sean Salisbury.
Oh.
That would be, you got
one
so
episode.
This is a 7-hour podcast.
They are
a very special episode.
The stories you're going to get from the three of the best storytellers I've ever known.
Huh. Wow.
What's that?
Wow. I think I had a very successful segment of Storytime with Christopher Lott.
I said 3 of the. You're, of course, number 1.
Oh, okay.
No, we're trying to get Chris to do a new segment here that we've been talking about.
Oh, did you tell him?
I told him. That was my response to him.
Okay.
We might be doing that.
Oh. I'm excited for this segment.
Okay, so and I know we're screwed on time. I don't care. Chris asked us yesterday if we are interested in interviewing a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to town. Who is? Do we want to say yet who it is? Or
it's not SmackDown tonight, which is WWE. It's AEW, which is going to be in Stockton.
And do we want to say who
We don't know yet.
Oh, we don't know yet. Oh, wrestler. Okay. Yeah. And so
you will not be interviewing them,
right? And that's the thing. Like, there are other people that can interview wrestlers, and I have nothing against wrestling. Every one of my questions is going to be like, everyone knows it's fake, but the athletics aren't fake, right? It's just going to be stupid. And
you talk to bull riders and you know nothing about bull riders.
That's okay. When Jason and I were talking about this segment, that's funny. That was his exact pushback to me. I said, that's a wonderful point. As a matter of fact, we'll be having a bull rider on Chase Outlaw this Monday. I said, that's a great point. It's a fair point. Here's my pushback to the pushback. Nobody knows anything about bull riding, dude, anywhere. Like, right? But people know about wrestling,
and they're into it.
And they are not the best of fans.
No, and they are gonna they'll be like, "Oh my God, this is embarrassing." So the segment I'd like to do, because wrestlers get great views and that people want to hear it. We understand there's a market. Is we want to debut the segment. Christopher Lott interviews a wrestler. Mm-hmm. We went far enough yesterday. Jason and I had a long conversation about this, that we actually wrote some production and some imaging for that segment. Christopher Lott interviews a wrestler. You want to try it out right now?
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Christopher Lott interviews a wrestler. Boom. We've already got it. So,
wow, not a lot of money in that.
Actually, bells and whistles on the other end. That's the writing part.
We were talking to Joe in digital We're going to try and get the wrestler. It's going to be me and Simone interviewing a wrestler.
Love it.
Wow.
I love the idea. So 3, 2, 1. Chris and Simone interview a wrestler. That's a respectable job.
Yeah.
4 down territory, please. This is such a stupid show. I love it.
Wow, that's
Wow,
peppy.
that is not. There we go.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quickly.
Christian, what is your lock of the week in the NFL?
Chiefs.
49ers.
Second down.
That was quick.
What is your upset of the week in the NFL?
Texans.
Ooh,
Over the Steelers at home.
Okay. All right. This one was difficult. I didn't see a lot here. I'm going to take the Falcons in London over Jacksonville.
Ooh.
Yeah, in the Toy Story game.
Once again, we do not want any injuries.
What would happen if there is one?
Little Bo Peep is sprinting out.
It's so stupid. It's the visual.
It's Mr. Potato Head driving the ambulance.
Whoa there.
Third down.
Bullseye.
You have one ticket to a college game this weekend. Where are you going?
With apologies to LSU and Ole Miss.
Oh, gross.
With apologies to Notre Dame, Duke.
Oh, Duke.
With apologies to Utah, Oregon State. I'm going to pick the boring answer. Give me USC, Colorado.
It's not going to be a game.
It isn't going to be a game, but it's going to be a scene. It's going to be an atmosphere, if you will. And you know what, Jason? Here's the thing. Colorado's a nice place this time of year.
It is.
You know, if I'm going to the game, that means I'm going to the city. I'll go there.
Okay. I'm picking a wild card. You mentioned him, but I'm going to pick Notre Dame Duke just because this is like a big game. Duke in football with a big game. College game days going there.
Yes.
I'd probably check out the basketball court and the other stuff. But yeah, I'd like to see that.
It's pretty good GPA going on both sides of the ball there.
Yes. Smart football.
It's a nerd bowl.
Wow, you said it.
I said it in a good way. Nerds rule the world. Fourth down.
You have one ticket to an NFL game this weekend. Where are you going?
I've been going first the whole time.
Where are you going? You know what? Because of where the weather is now, present day, I haven't looked at the weather this weekend. I'm going to the Dog Pound. Yeah.
Wow.
No frowny faces here.
No.
These are happy faces. The Browns are hosting the Ravens. The old Browns versus the new Browns.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
The Brown Bowl.
Yes.
I have that once a week.
The AFC
Every
North.
Sunday.
Yes.
Yes.
I will be there in person, sights and sounds and smells.
So I thought I was picking a wild card, and you were going to go, because I feel like the easy answer is...
You're going to see Taylor Swift.
Well, Buffalo for the Bills and Dolphins.
Just because it's the game of the week?
Right. Yeah. You know, it's Buffalo again. You can have fun. There's
you can
wins.
jump through a table.
No, I'll tell you exactly where I'm going, and it makes sense. I put me right there, 50-yard line, Falcons, Jaguars. Two reasons
You're
here.
going to London, huh? London calling?
Number one, it's Wembley. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Is it?
Probably.
Okay.
Secondly, then I can just stay there and
do what?
Just stay there for the week and do London-y things.
Which is?
I'd see Big Ben. I'd see. I'd go see Stonehenge because I'd have time to go 3 hours away. Instead, I'll be going the week after, and I'm going to York. That's my trip now. Liverpool or York. I'm going to pick York. Wait for my wife to go over to do Liverpool. York, I think home of the peppermint patty.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently you can walk castle walls there. There's a homemade fudge shop.
Careful.
I'm just saying. I literally watched a YouTube video on things to do in York, England yesterday. And I've decided that's
your list.
Last time it was Manchester. This time it's York. So yeah, I'm going to the Jags and Falcons.
Okay.
Because it's a good game. So we'll take a break. Who's hot?
Who?
I don't know, and I don't know who's not either. Chris is going to get that together. Let's also do, you want to do Niners Pick 6?
I've got it ready for us.
Let's do both of those. We'll do that next. SactownSports.com.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award?
Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At Harbor Freight, we think you shouldn't have to break the bank to get great tools. Because we know that for some of you, tools are part of the job. And for others, they're just the beginning of making, fixing, restoring, and building. That's why we make high-quality tools that are priced affordably, because we love being the start of all your working, making, fixing, restoring, and building. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Sorry, just watching Victor Hovland slow-mo, full-body fist pump.
I was excited, Victor.
He's a metalhead.
Yes.
By the way, I know it's who's hot, who's not. The sneak preview on a who's not, which I'm pretty confident Chris doesn't have this in there. The United States Ryder Cup team.
You're killing me.
Oh, is it really? Oh, damn it. More on that coming up in just moments. In the meantime, here's Christopher Loud with Who's Hot.
Who's hot?
Yeah.
We were talking about him earlier, David Montgomery.
Yeah, he is.
Specifically, David Montgomery
David McGrumpy.
at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Last night, he had 121 yards and 3 touchdowns in Green Bay. That was his third career 100-yard rushing game at Lambeau. The only other players with more 100-yard rushing games at Lambeau are, as visiting players, are Walter Payton with 6, Adrian Peterson with 4, and Barry Sanders with 4.
So there was a thing where I just saw it. I think it was Amon-Ra St. Brown did the Lambeau leap after he scored his touchdown yesterday, and you see somebody in the background of the video pouring beer on him.
Right.
And whatever media member tweeted, it was like, bad luck for Green Bay fans. Now look, I am in no way advocating anyone pouring beer on anyone ever. If you're an opposing team member and you jump into the other stadium's fan base after you scored a touchdown, and the worst thing that happens is beer gets poured on your helmet, I'm not looking at the pad. There's a lot of things fan bases do where I'm like, that's a bad look. Dude, don't jump in the stands. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean they have a right to like punch him or do anything. If you're getting a beverage poured on your helmet for jumping in there, I don't know, maybe the moral of the story is don't jump into the, opposing team's crowd.
Probably a good idea.
I can think of a few sports. Imagine if, I don't know, Man United, Man City, the derby, they're playing each other at Etihad Stadium, and some guy on United scores a goal to go up 4-0, just blowing them out on the road.
Very realistic.
Yeah, this happens all the time. this happens, and he does his soccer goal slide, and then he runs to the city supporter section and jumps into the crowd. He's probably not coming back.
He would probably come back, but without a limb.
Yeah, he would hop back onto the pitch, never to play again. Like, dude, just it's almost like this side of stepping on the logo.
Right.
Like, don't do it. And you know what? I don't condone what the Green Bay fan did, but I'm not thinking any less of them. Who's not?
Hey, take a guess. The U.S. Ryder Cup team. This morning, to start off the Ryder Cup, the Europeans swept the 4 foursomes. Not only were the U.S. swept, they never even held the lead at any point in the morning matches.
Hey, they got their first half point.
They got a half point.
There goes the shutout. Because I think what it is like if Europe, this actually be funny. If Europe went up, if you go up 7 points to 0, they just end it all right there. Like mercy rule.
Do they really?
No, they didn't.
Oh, I didn't ever heard
they
that.
don't, but how funny would that be?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's over.
Like there's some card games where you get skunked.
Yeah.
Like that's it. If you go up 7 or more to 0, it's a skunk. Nah, the USA's down 4.
I think it's more now.
The USA, oh God, McElroy and Matt Fitzpatrick just beat the holy you know what out of Colin Morikawa and Xander Schauffele. 5-3. That is a tush push.
Yeah. So it's 5.5 to half.
5.5 to half. The Americans have not won in Europe in 30 years. Yet the Americans overall have a great record against Europe. It really does make a difference where you're playing, obviously. And the Europeans have the hottest golfer in the world right now, in Victor Hovland, who we're watching right now. Look, 5.5 to a half is no way, shape, or form. It's over. I think it's what, 13.5, 14.5, somewhere in there to win it. It's not over at all. And we've actually seen bigger comebacks by the Americans, but they got to get it together. And you got to wonder right now if, Dustin Johnson and Patrick Reed, a few of those live golfers sitting around going, maybe you could have used us.
Yeah.
Maybe could have used us. So what else? Oh, we got 49ers pick 6.
Yes, we do.
All right, give us another bet and let's make it happen, Captain. The big game this weekend. They're all big. By the way, Dan Gamble said in the locker room speech for the Lions we played earlier, he said, we're a quarter way through the season, gentlemen. Great win. Bad math by Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Quarter way through the season will be
17 games.
Yeah, 17,
Yeah.
man. Dan Campbell lying to his locker room. Can they recover?
That's why they're the Lions.
That's
Oh, double whammy.
I can't believe that's just well done by Jason Ross. Niners pick 6.
Dave.
Hey, maybe.
First category with you and me and Chris. You start us out. First 49er to score. We do this every week.
I'm sorry. Did you say Chris? You start us out, or
No,
Chris?
I'm sorry, and
comma,
Chris.
you?
Chris, comma Dave. You start us out.
And what was the question again?
First 49er to score this week.
I'm actually gonna go on a limb this week. First time I picked him this season. I'm gonna go for something random. I'm gonna go Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. CMC. I am gonna say Brock Purdy on a rushing touchdown.
Wow.
Chris.
I'm gonna say Moody.
I was gonna say somebody's got to pick Moody. I'm changing.
All right, I'll go first on the second one. We're looking for Purdy touchdowns and interceptions.
Chris, before you answer, it's Chris's turn, right?
No,
it's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Why aren't Niner fans going moo?
They do for a use check.
Right. Like, you got to the amount of moves that will happen because he's a kicker.
Yeah.
Do it after field goals. If you don't want to do it after extra points, it's fine. But come on, guys, lay the sushi down, put down the edamame, put down the garlic fries, and moo.
Yeah.
Moo, damn it.
Touchdowns and interceptions for Purdy. I have 2 and 2. Chris.
I'm going to go 2-0.
Okay. Dave.
I think 2-0 is the right one. I'll go 3-0, but I think Chris is going to be right.
All right, Chris, we're looking for McCaffrey yards, first rushing, then receiving.
McCaffrey will have 105 rushing, and I'll say 40 receiving.
540. Dave?
I'm going to kind of go the opposite here. I think he's going to have give me 58 yards rushing Give me 70 yards receiving. I think they're going to lean on him a little bit more.
I have 77 rushing and 39 receiving, so close to Chris on that second one. Okay. All right, we're to our guy Moody. We're looking for field goals and extra points for Moody.
It's me?
Yeah.
I'll go 3-3.
That's what he's been doing, right?
That's what he's been doing. Why
I actually
not?
have mine already written in there on that as well because it's going to match up my score later. 3-3. Chris?
I'm going to say 3-4.
Wow. Ooh,
okay.
Wow. High score.
So score, I have 30-10 San Francisco. Chris?
I'm going to say 35-16 Niners.
Dave?
I'm taking that 32, by the way. Give me 30 as well. Give me 30-21. Let's make it.
Just realize my extra points don't make sense.
Yeah, we get some safeties and some 2-point conversions in there, maybe.
That's fine. Yeah.
And last one, Chris, you lead us off. A random stat, random thing that'll happen.
Niners defense will have a touchdown.
Okay, Dave.
Does Bosa have a sack yet?
Yes, one, I think. Almost a safety last week.
Nick Bosa will double his sack total for the season in one game.
All right, and I am going to have, this one's not too crazy, but the Niners will never trail. They'll have the lead wire to wire.
Never trail. Wow, for the year?
Yeah.
For the whole entire year.
Or at least this weekend.
That would be some sort of a record. All right, so those are locked in.
They're in. They're done. They're down.
We'll take a break. Speaking of Niners, when we come back, Niners at 9. We'll look at this Cardinals matchup and what do the Cardinals need to do to win. We're a little worried about a trap game. Should we?
Trap.
And Emil Fragoso sat down with our very own Eric Armstead. We've got some of those cuts to play for you. Always nice to hear from Eric. We'll do that next.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
And then I was selling pretzels out of a cart in San Francisco
really?
at the time.
Like the people who sell them at the arena or at the stadiums? Like, did you have like a holler?
Like a pretzel barker?
Pretzel! Something like that. I don't know.
How would that have gone again?
I don't want to do it in case Chris. I'm sure Chris already cut it. Actually, he can. Pretzel. God, I hate him so much.
It's Whitey and Watkins from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to folsomlakehonda.com. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento State football is back at home this Saturday night versus Northern Arizona. Kickoff 6 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And is swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 4 of the NFL kicked off yesterday with the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Lions running back David Montgomery had a huge night. He had 121 yards on 32 carries and 3 touchdowns to get the win at Lambeau Field. On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers host the Arizona Cardinals. You can listen to the Niners game this Sunday with pregame at 12:25 and kickoff scheduled for 1:25 right here on Sactown Sports. The 44th Ryder Cup is currently underway at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, and Europe is up big after they swept the foursomes round to take a 4-0 lead over the U.S., and they currently lead the U.S. 5.5 to 0.5. Those are your headlines. Oh, but first I need to remind you that your Ryder Cup update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. That's everything you need to know. And now we need to go back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Hi. Just wondering if that was me. Little double song action for all you out there. Jason, Ryder Cup's on. Tell everybody what just happened.
Yeah, just to update from Chris. It just happened during his update, the end of it. John Rahm hit, I don't know, what was that, 20-foot, 25-foot putt? Coming in hot. And it hit the back of the cup, popped up, and went in. So that saved a half point for the European team. So it's now 6-1.
6-1, and yeah.
But that bounce of the boop, yeah.
At the back of the cup, pops up, pops in, which you almost never
it's
see.
Pretty rare.
That's where you know it's Europe's day. 6-1. The American, honestly, this might be revenge for Cornwallis. We've waited all these years. 250 years later, this is a shellac. I may not even be able to go over there.
Yeah.
Show my face.
I may not let you.
By the way, just a quick note. It is Niners at 9. We'll get to Eric Armstead and Emil's conversation in a second. I thought this was interesting. During the break, I'm looking around, and Pablo Torre, friend of the show, was doing his podcast video thingy. I want to give him credit. And according to him, he found out, again, according to him and his sources, what Jordan Poole said to Draymond Green right before he got punched in the face by Draymond. And by the way, I can say it verbatim on the air too. According to Pablo Torre, Jordan Poole yelled to Draymond Green, "You're an expensive backpack for 30. 30 being Steph Curry. You're an expensive backpack for 30. And then got punched. I feel like Draymond Green's been called like a billion times worse things than that.
So going back to the former show, Nick and Rami, Rami, we were having a meeting, and he's like, "Oh, guys, did you see what happened? Why he punched him?" We're like, "No." And he goes, "So he was saying Jordan Poole kept on saying like, oh, I'm going to have a Jordan Poole at my house, a Jordan Poole at my house." And that's what ticked him off. And we're like, "Where did you find that?" He's like, "Oh, I'll find it." And he's like going through his phone, and he goes, "Okay, that's not real."
Jordan Poole at my house.
He's like, "I'm going to have a Jordan Poole at my house."
Yeah, that's not real, Rami. Sorry, it sounded good. You're an expensive backpack for 30.
That's good.
I mean, it's a good line. He gets punched. Not that, you know, there's many things he could have said that would have deserved a punch. But honest to God, man, I thought it was going to be something about someone's mom.
Right.
That's usually what it is, or wife or kid or whatever.
Sometimes it's the subtle things.
And that's what Draymond could have done. Don't punch him.
Yeah.
You're an expensive backpack for 30. You know what the perfect response is? Your mom's an expensive backpack for 30. And then boom. Calling the burn units.
Yeah.
Someone got roasted. No? Okay. Eric Armstead sat down with our very own Emil Fragoso. You can hear the entire interview and read about it and all that fun stuff, and tons of 49er insider coverage at SactownSports.com. And like a good lad, or as our big boss calls him, Emiliano.
Yeah, very formal.
Very, very formal. Eric talked about the video where he showed off his check that we talked about on Monday.
Just wanted to show people something they probably never seen before.
I mean, my salaries, you can Google and find out how much I make. So it's not really a secret, but I don't think people understand, kind of how it works. They just, from the outside looking in, just see what they see. But, I wanted to break it down and show people, kind of how it actually works.
While we were hearing that conversation on one of our TVs, I think it's ESPN, they were going through highlights of the Lions Packers matchup from last night, and the question was, they were going over why the Packers lost, and the question they posed was, what's love got to do with it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's if you and I ran their graphic.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it would be. Eric Armstead on Nick Bosa's brand new big fat contract.
We were definitely we're waiting for him to get back, and wanted him to figure all that out contract wise. It's very important for him and our team. So I'm happy. We were super happy that it got it done. And we're looking forward to not having to play without him.
Okay. Javon Kinlaw has been a resurgent presence, or should I say surgent, because he never was really.
No, he wasn't there before, but he's been presence. What they've looked for.
100%. Yeah. And they've been patient with him, and it seems to be paying dividends this year. We talked to you about what they're on pace for as far as pressures go this season, which would, I think, quadruple their total from last year, which is pretty darn good. And Eric talked about Javon Kinlaw.
Well, yeah, he's healthy, and as a player, I've dealt with injuries, and I know how tough it is to not be out there getting better. And so he's healthy, and when you're able to be healthy and stack reps, you're going to get better. He's a tremendous player, and he really just needed to have some good fortune and some good health to show what he can do. Really, I mean, that's all it really boiled down to.
Robert Saleh is gone. D'Amico Ryans is gone, both on to greener pastures for them, getting coach their own NFL teams, and having, different levels of success, obviously trying to rebuild something. Robert Saleh, obviously dealing with a ton of crap this year because of the Aaron Rodgers injury. But Steve Wilkes comes in, and he's the new defensive coordinator. A lot of people thought that he should have gotten the Carolina Panthers job last year after the job he did to finish out the year, including most Carolina players. Well, Carolina's loss, San Francisco's gain, and Eric talked about his new coordinator.
A little bit of an adjustment. Mainly we talked to Coach Kocurek throughout the games anyway. Minor interactions with D'Amico in the past. So, yeah, there's a little bit of an adjustment, but, Coach Wilkes being up there, he can see things from his perspective to, help us execute a game plan and go out there and put us in the best position. So it's working for us.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's definitely working for them. I think he's done a nice job. The defense is still so loaded, and I still feel like they can play better defensively. That's what's great.
It's so funny you say that, because I know this sounds silly because their defense has been very good this year, but you just get the feeling like we haven't seen like that signature. Oh my God. Like I expect to see at least a couple of games this year from the Niners, reminiscent in the neighborhood, at least, of that opening Giants-Cowboys game.
Yeah.
Where it's just men amongst boys. As it stands right now, the 49ers have allowed the 5th least amount of points in the NFL. The Browns, Bills, Cowboys, and Chiefs. That's kind of scary. The Chiefs are there ahead of the Niners. However, the Niners, the 3rd best point differential. So that offense getting it done a little bit. Interestingly enough, when we talk about point differential, Bills just 3 behind the Dolphins. The Bills, after that loss, really kind of, I don't want to say turned it around, but hey, I'm old enough to remember when Josh Allen was being destroyed.
After week 1, certainly was. I mean, that was a bad night for them, bad night for him. Rodgers got hurt early, and they felt like that was going to be a win, and just, it didn't happen. But since then, they've been great.
It's just a goofy night. It's like one of those nights you kind of throw everything out because of the emotion of the whole thing. You go from Rodgers carrying the flag and running out with it on September 11th, just all the emotions. And then you move on to, him getting injured on the first play. It's just a weird night. Hopefully not a weird day for the Niners, as they are favored fairly heavily against Arizona, coming off a great win against Dallas. And Eric Armstead talked about preparing for them.
They're playing inspired. You know, they've been running the ball well, so that's going to be key to stop the run. And, you know, you can't sleep on anybody in the NFL. You know, each week you got to go out there and take what you want.
You know, at some point, Eric's a veteran. He's got to stand up and say, guys, I'm doing an interview.
Yeah. It's my time.
Keep it down, please.
Yeah.
Have you seen the line on this game?
I haven't. Can I guess?
Yes.
San Francisco. 11 and a half?
14.
Oh, wow.
14.
Okay.
That's a little bit scary.
And that's even with knowing that the Cardinals have been, like Papa said, you know, going into every fourth quarter, they've been really competitive, surprisingly to me. I thought they were going to have just an awful year. And then based on, you know, starting Dobbs, moving that decision down really late till before the season started. But they've competed. That's credit to them.
It is the largest margin out of all the NFL teams this weekend, including Kansas City at the Jets. Kansas City is favored by 9. Philadelphia hosting the Commanders, favored by 9 as well. So a full 5 points ahead of any other team. Look, I'm not saying the Niners can't beat them by 21-30, whatever, but to your point,
it's a big spread.
Cardinals have led in the second half of every single game.
Yeah.
Every single game.
Right.
I would say more than mild. So you have like mild, medium, and hot salsa. I would be mediumly surprised if the Cardinals don't cover in this game. Final clip from Eric. Preparing for the Cardinals, great. How about preparing for the guy he's after, the quarterback, Dobbs?
He's been using his legs. You know, they have their scheme of QB zone read stuff that you know, a lot of teams are running now. So, yeah, definitely we're gonna have our game plan for those design quarterback runs, and you know, we're gonna have to fly around inside out, and you know, corral the ball carriers. You know, all of them. You know, not just Dobbs, but everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job, Emil.
Yes.
And I'll tease the. There's one more clip I want to play. I'll tease that when we're done with the segment here in a few seconds on the YouTube chat. I actually really like this idea from Aaron. Friday night, opening night, home opener, Kings Warriors. We must have a backpack chant for Draymond Green. That's
pretty good. Absolute
necessity.
You're a backpack.
And those are you're absolutely right, because you could go back. No. It's the Daryl chants that do the best work. You're a backpack. That's it, man. Just the whole crowd. Because again, as they also say on the text line, you're a backpack. And if you're just joining us, Pablo Torre reporting, you're an expensive backpack for 30 is what Jordan Poole said to Draymond Green before the punch. Said, you know, it doesn't sound hardcore, but sometimes it's the things you're most insecure about.
Yeah, he hit a nerve.
And
then his nerve got hit.
He hit Jordan Poole right in the old jaw nerve. Backpack. Delivery Joe says David is an expensive backpack for Jason Ross. I disagree with that. Not expensive, I would say. I wish I was. Not as expensive. Definitely a backpack, though, for Jason. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the rest of the NFL as well. But first, when we come back, Emil Fragoso had one more clip in there I didn't play. He asked Eric Armstead, speaking of, about the upcoming Sacramento Kings season. Find out what Sacramento's own Eric Armstead said about that. We'll go through the rest of the NFL. We'll do it all next.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m.
on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. It's the end of summer blowout on all their systems. Right now, $2,500 off full systems, as low as $34 a week. And now American Energy Heating and Air offering a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice
on high-efficiency units. Look, the uncomfortable becomes comfortable with American Energy Heating and Air. They've been around since 1981, making the greater Sacramento area proud with an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. And as always, their goal is to exceed your expectations, exceed them of the heating and air industry, valuing the customer experience and making your home comfortable. It's that simple. Go to American Energy Heating and Air and get yourself a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high-efficiency units.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Hey, thanks to Chris for reminding me during the break, because we've been watching it all morning. If you haven't been watching it, save a thought for people in New York today. Yeah. Have you seen any of this?
No.
They are going through it.
It is a biblical flood out there.
Just the scenes we're seeing. I'll see if I can find one for you, Jason. The scenes we are seeing out of New York and Manhattan specifically are, I think Chris kind of described it correctly.
Oh my gosh.
They're biblical. Like there's cars. Here we go on Carroll
Look at that
Street.
drain.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a whirlpool. That's not a drain. There are cars, water halfway up.
Where's that truck going? They're not going to make that.
I don't know. I don't know why people are driving in this stuff. But I mean, we're looking at
is that a bus?
That's a bus with water coming on it. We're going to go through a bunch of videos, guys, while you're listening on the radio. Just wow. Absolutely insane. And look, I'm sure I'm wrong about this. I'm sure I am. I don't live in New York. I'm not a New York expert. I don't remember seeing crazy floods in New York.
I don't either.
Yeah. Storm Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy. Yeah. No, probably.
That was 2014.
Yeah, that was like a hurricane.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, from what I understand, this is, not that a storm isn't a big deal, but flooding in Manhattan. Weird how that it's. You see all these random weather events happening these days, and I just don't understand why. It's weird.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers to everybody in New York, though. That is, just stay inside, go inside, do what you got to do, stay out of, and don't drive. Please don't drive in the floods. Thank you. Like that truck. One more cut from Eric Armstead about the Sacramento Kings and their upcoming season. Of course, Eric's a big Sacramento Kings fan. His dad, Gus, owns the Hardwood Palace here, where my little boy just played a few weeks ago.
Wow, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Here's Eric.
I think they're in a good spot. Hopefully they can build off of what they did last year. They really got the city buzzing and had a great season, so hopefully they can build off of it and continue to get better and, have another great season. It's very important for our city.
Will we see you at G1C?
Yeah, I'll definitely be at some games.
Oh, yeah, he's been there before. He's a regular. We see him.
Yeah, we'll see him. We'll see Logan Webb.
Yeah.
We'll see there's some other athletes. Weirdly enough, I feel like Floyd Mayweather's been there.
That was like a lot with Isaiah Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Aren't they friends?
But I think Floyd was there. Wasn't Floyd and 50? They were. Floyd and 50 Cent were there on the same day last year.
Well, and then you had the playoffs. The close personal friends of John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and Jay Johnson. Kyrie Irving was at Game 7.
That's right. That was super random. Yeah. I mean, good for him. You don't expect Kyrie Irving showing up in all street clothes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for the Weather Channel. I should focus on this job thing we're doing here. All right. Game of the week, Dolphins, Bills.
Yeah, I think so. That one's got a lot of potential, excitement. Everybody's into what Miami's doing right now, coming off their 70-point game. And Papa, of course, had great numbers on even that, how Tua struggled with the Bills. And so, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, is this one of those, defense wins championship argument things here where, you're going to get. I mean, you're really getting a look at. We talked about the Bills' defense is right up there with the best. Miami is on a record-breaking offensive pace. Is this one of those times where? And by the way, it doesn't appear that. Unlike later in the year, it doesn't appear weather's going to be a factor at all.
Right.
So is this one of those? All right, is this going to be like a 50-49 game, or are we going to, the Bills defense going to? I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with Miami. No shoes have been dropping.
Yeah, I mean the game that was their closest was the Patriots. They still won, but that one was kept in more of a, I guess, regular type of score, but everything besides that, they've been just putting up high volume of points.
What the Pats hold them to? Was it 24?
I think so. I think that's the number. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's at this point, if you can hold, I think if the Bills could walk away knowing that they were giving 24 points up to the Dolphins, I'm pretty sure they may not say it publicly, but I'm pretty sure they'd take that at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I have some numbers here I forgot about. The lowest quarterback rating allowed by safeties in the NFL. This is entering week 4. Number 4, Von Bell of the Panthers, 36.2 rating allowed to quarterbacks. Number 3, Jaron Kearse, the young star with the Cowboys, 35.8 QB quarterback rating. Grant Delpit, safety, Cleveland Browns, 28.5. Number 1 on this list. Hufanga, Talanoa, Hufanga, 8.3.
Wow.
Second place, 28.5. Hufanga, 8.3. It's pretty amazing.
Getting it done.
And
that number may get better with Arizona coming in.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, no offense to Josh Dobbs, but he's played a few better quarterbacks this year, at least on paper.
Yeah.
Ravens Browns, the game you'll be attending.
Yeah, I like that game. I think that's a game for the AFC North. There's a lot of history there. Trying to learn a little bit more about each team. I think the Ravens, stubbed their toe last week. Browns, the defense has been one of the surprises of the NFL, just how good they've been.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's one of the better games this week.
Myles Garrett is a monster.
Oh my goodness. I remember this this year or the year? No, it was the year before, Vegas Summer League. And he was out there and he went through, I remember the Kings had just finished and there was just a bunch of commotion. You could just tell on the court because, the next two teams come in and everybody's kind of making, just all this congestion. We're all kind of standing around waiting for some of the Kings people to be done. Like, what is going on? What's this next game is Cleveland and somebody. Well, he was going through the layup lines. And
what?
Yeah, he was dunking, but he was like shaking the basket and he's so ripped.
Yeah.
And he just looks different. Like there's taller people out there, but he just looked like a truck. And he is put together. And there's video of him playing pickup and dunking, and he's an incredible athlete.
What was it? Bill Belichick earlier this week commented on, was it Micah Parsons and Lawrence Taylor and the comparisons there. Well, I'm not saying Myles Garrett is Lawrence Taylor. Nobody's Lawrence Taylor, but if you asked all the quarterbacks to make a list of who would scare them the most running full speed unblocked.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The Geno Smith Memorial. Oh my God Award. I don't know. Myles Garrett's going to get plenty of votes on that. And Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, Parsons will certainly be on there. Bosa will be on there. TJ Watt.
Yep.
But honestly, put those 5 guys up there and tell me who. I feel like Myles Garrett, Myles Garrett reminds me the way he plays and his intimidation factor. And, it's hard because guys wearing a helmet and pads. It's like, well, how's he intimidating? Just the sheer power. God, it's almost like the football version of Gary Sheffield at bat, where you're just like, I'm good. Like, I'm good, sir. Come on in, do your thing. And by the way, not for nothing. And I kind of shy away from bringing up, things that have been buried, but I bring this up in a very complimentary way for Myles Garrett. I'm a really big Myles Garrett fan. He got out of that whole Steelers controversy, and we don't even, it's almost like with a player where you're worried about them being injured if they're chronically injured.
Yeah.
And that's, like Joel Embiid, then you never worry about him being injured because you're over. It's the first, I thought about this I think last weekend when I was like, oh God, remember when that whole thing happened with just heat of the moment?
Yeah.
You know,
that's something that could stay with you and chase you, and it just really hasn't.
And it hasn't, and I'm glad. And I'm really glad it hasn't. Like it was a stupid thing to do, and he paid the price, and he should have paid the price, and he served his, air quotes, time on the whole thing. And now he's doing what he should be doing, which is being just one of the best, still young, one of the best young defensive players in the game. And he's a pleasure to watch. Myles Garrett versus Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Who's winning that battle? Golly. And then you have the Raiders and Chargers.
Yeah.
Before we get to the
conservative coach versus the too aggressive coach.
Seriously, like if we could get like a Branch Stoke Daniels, get him to marry and have a coach kid, and that might be a good coach.
500.
Exactly, right in the middle. Before we get to the game itself, because the Chargers are likely going to boat race the Raiders here, but I can't stop thinking about Chandler Jones. And part of the reason I can't stop thinking about Chandler Jones is because Chandler Jones keeps popping up on social media. Yesterday, I don't even know what he was saying. He went from crying. I think at one point he alluded to Josh McDaniels having something to do with Aaron Rodgers being murdered instead of committing suicide. I mean, the things that he is, and I'm not saying
Aaron Hernandez.
What did I say?
Aaron Rodgers.
You said Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
That's a mistake you want to make, stupid. Aaron Hernandez, I apologize. I don't care about anything. I know we keep saying this. They put him in a facility for 3 days, but I think that's as long as they could hold him. But things not going well, man. No. And I say this with zero tongue-in-cheek joking. I'm serious. I don't know if he's medicated. It sounds like if he, sometimes you see this with people, you and I, we both have friends who have mental health issues. If something goes wrong with a medication or you start a new medication, and, I've seen, in fact, you and I both knew a guy a long, long time ago that was taking diet pills and absolutely went off the rails for a while. But something is clearly wrong with Chandler Jones. Football aside, I hope to God that he gets the help he needs before this thing ends really, really badly. As far as the game itself, it's a division game. It's a rivalry game, if you will. It's effectively a home game for the Raiders. But the Chargers are I think they're just a better team front to back.
Well, they're coming off career highs for Keenan Allen, for Herbert. The Raiders, found a way to beat Denver, and now that all of a sudden doesn't feel as great. Obviously got worked in Buffalo, lost this last week. This feels like a swing game to get their season either directed back on track to get to 2-2, which is okay, or you're 1-3 and you're just like, maybe it's not a good team.
Yep. A lot of I don't know. I can't sit here and say Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels' job should be on the line this weekend, but it's Mark Davis. Who the hell knows? We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go streaking, see how we did yesterday. I'm trying my second day in a row of picking an Oakland Athletic. We'll see how that goes. Celebrity birthdays as well, brought to you by Crumble Cookies, and then it's Friday Fun and Games. We'll get to all that right here on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Quick Quack Car Wash.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. We're looking at a pretty nice day with sunny skies to start, a few clouds by the afternoon, and we'll feel a bit more of a breeze later on. Temperatures will top out today in the lower 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
There's just something about fall that makes me want to enjoy every moment. The changing leaves, the pumpkin patches, and you know what else won't last? Quick Quack's new pumpkin spice scented car wash. Text SPICE to 41284 to get 50% off any wash.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program, with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can stand, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can stand, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sacramento State football is back at home this Saturday night versus Northern Arizona. Kickoff 6 p.m. Get your tickets at HornetSports.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 4 the NFL kicked off yesterday with the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers 34-20. Lions running back David Montgomery had a huge night. He had 121 yards on 32 carries and 3 touchdowns to get the win at Lambeau Field. On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers host the Arizona Cardinals. You can listen to the Niners game this Sunday with pregame at 12:25 and kickoff scheduled for 1:25 right here on Sactown Sports. The 44th Ryder Cup is currently underway at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, and Europe went up big after they swept the foursomes round to take a 4-0 lead over the U.S. And currently Europe leads the U.S. 6.5 to 1.5. Your Ryder Cup update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings. Nature Wood Home Furnishing, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing? We're streaking.
All right. What's next?
The final. Wait a minute here.
Yeah, we have one last pick. I think we could do a postseason.
I was
streak,
just going to ask you that.
but it's a separate streak.
Totally. We should 100% do a playoff Let's Go streaking. I think Mitch in New Jersey would agree. Hello, Mitch.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Is it raining over there? Is it raining over there?
No, how
but
are you?
more importantly, there.
Yeah, are you in the middle of all that rain in New York?
It's crazy. It's like Seattle. It's like Jersey's become Seattle, the East Coast.
But like
the weather has shifted.
Yeah, but super like crazy are the floods we're seeing. Oh, stay safe out there, Mitch.
Thanks. I'm driving my truck, but I still don't want paperwork reports is not good news. I just hope the 49ers can put this game away early. Let's see some of Sam Donald and set Phoenix Suns, the Arizona Cardinals. They have two top picks, and they should just be worried about getting that wide receiver and, of course, Caleb Williams. They better not screw it up. I mean, Dobbs playing pretty good. They probably get a number one pick for Kyler Murray, but what do you think? And have a nice weekend.
Hey, you too.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
I agree. Don't screw it up. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm with him on that.
All right. So yesterday, I know I picked an A.
Yeah, you're continuing that streak.
I think you mixed it up finally and took Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
And I actually don't remember who Chris
took Ronald.
Oh, that guy.
Ronald.
Yeah.
So let's start with you. Were you happy that you got your one plate appearance from Ruiz pinch hit?
You set it up beautifully. Yeah. And then Chris, actually, I'll give him a lot of credit too. He did a great lead. And he's like, oh, well, it's the A's and they only did this and they only got this. And then your guy only got one at bat. I'm like, oh, but he got a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Estuary Ruiz. And then I'm pretty sure I took Brent Rooker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit tougher because that was a 2-1 game. Only 8 hits in the game. 4 for the Twins, 4 for the A's. But all you need is one of them.
That's all I need is one.
And Brent Rooker had 4 plate appearances, and he went 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Streak is over.
Ooh, you suck. You suck. It's over. It's over. You move over. Face move.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Your streak.
I was at a streak of 1, trying to get to 2, and yes, I took America's heartthrob, Aaron Judge.
If the A's were 110 and 49, it'd be a lot more enjoyable this season.
It would be.
Back to you.
Okay. So, Aaron Judge, Yankees, 7 hits. They didn't score a run, but 7 hits. And Aaron Judge had 2 Ks and 0 for 3.
Oh.
You suck.
It's over. It's over now.
Streak.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
So now we know going into next year, Dave, you and I could carry 1-game hit streaks into next year.
Could.
Do
they carry over?
Yes, they do.
That's good to know.
Chris was at 2, though. He could get to 3, and he did take, what'd you call him, Chris?
Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
Cool if he was from Brazil, because if he was from Brazil, wouldn't he be Ronald? Aren't the R's H's if they start this like Hoist Gracie?
I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I just feel like I know that they it's not Jesus, it's Jesus over there.
Yeah. Well, because Aldo was Jose. That was the proper pronunciation. I'm pretty sure if your first name starts with an R in Brazil, it's pronounced with an H.
I still remember this back at the old building, Dave. You probably won't. We had a read for probably some MMA fight, and then the read on there to me clearly looks Royce Gracie.
Yeah.
And I think you're like, hey, it's Hoist. And I'm like, I think you're screwing with me.
And I don't blame you.
That's what we talked about earlier.
And I don't know. I don't blame you.
Say, go to the MMA fight this weekend.
Because the Gracie family, all the sons, they're all like there's Hoist, Hoyler, Hickson, but they all start with R. So it looks like Richard, Royce. Yeah. Right. Hoger, which is, no, I'm not joking. God, this is where I need with credibility. Hoger is spelled Roger. But anyways.
That's why I'm Jason Hawks. All right, Acuna Jr. got Chris a hit. He is at 3.
Boom.
Hey,
Boom.
Look at you.
He's at 3. We all get to pick a new player today.
Okay. You know what?
What's next?
I'm taking an A because I promised I would, but
Okay.
I'm done screwing around here. With,
Now you are.
Taking chances with Rooker and Ruiz and all that. I'm taking a guy that I know is coming through for me. Give me Shea Langoliers, baby.
And what is his average? 203?
203 on the dot.
Okay.
Yes. I got
Well,
a 20% chance today.
Langoliers.
I
am going to match your Langoliers with the guy who bats right behind him, or at least he did yesterday. I'm going with the Oakland A as well. Blade. JJ Blade, who's batting 202.
Can I just say JJ Blade is a wonderful name?
It is.
Just rolls off.
What do you say?
JJ Blade, what do you say? Let's go get a hit today.
Hey.
It's perfect.
Chris?
So do I have to take an A too?
You don't have to. But
No, you're on a streak of 3.
What? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take Brent Rooker.
An A's sweep to end the year.
We're going out with the A's.
It's a streak.
We're going out with the A's. So the final streak of the regular
season. We'll have a postseason one.
We will have a postseason.
Celebrity birthday. That'd be fast. What are they brought to you by?
Brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Birthdays meant to be spent with family and friends. Nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies.
Okay, we can do this. It's just you versus Chris. We got 9 names. Let's go. Happy birthday to Rob Deere, former baseball player.
Rob Deere Brewer. He is 65.
68.
63, Dave with the win. Happy birthday to Halsey, singer Halsey.
Halsey is 27.
31.
Tie. 29. Happy birthday to KD, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant is 35.
34.
That's his number.
That is his number.
And it's his birthday.
Let's
35.
go!
Correct answer for Carmichael Dave. Happy birthday to Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson is 35.
37.
Chris for the win, 38. Happy birthday to former NBA player Hersey Hawkins.
Oh, God, New Jersey Net. Hersey Hawkins is 59.
58.
Yeah,
57, Chris for the win. Happy birthday to John Paxson.
John Paxson is 62.
65.
63, Dave with the win. Happy birthday to Ken Norton Jr. Former Niner,
former
Ken
Ken Norton Sr.
Yeah, Ken Norton Jr., big day to 50, a big day for him.
55.
57, Chris for the win.
Wow.
Last 2, happy birthday to Andrew Dice Clay.
Hickory dickory dock.
What's the rest?
I forget. Andrew Dice Clay is 67.
He is actually 72.
He is actually 66. Carmichael Dave gets that one. And the last one, happy birthday to Bryant Gumbel.
Bryant Gumbel is 76.
He is 74.
Tie, 75.
Wow. Good. And looks good for his age. What was Andrew Dice Clay's movie? Did anyone remember?
I saw that too.
Oh, man. We'll find it during the break.
Ford
Fairlane.
Ford Fairlane.
Yes. Well done. Nice deep cut pull. Friday. Fun and games coming up right after this.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier. I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, with the A's finishing the season on the road, including 3 against the Twins in Minneapolis, it's a reminder that the Twins have lost 18 consecutive postseason games, including 3 against the A's in the 06 Division Series. And who can forget Frank Thomas's 2-homer game in Game 1 and Mark Kotsay's game-winning inside-the-park home run in Game 2 at the Metrodome. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Hey, all right. Hey, how you doing? Zachariah to my left, Jason in front of me, me, right here. And Emil is in the potty.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to bust him out on air.
What?
He's probably listening right now. Sorry, Emil. I didn't know he was going to bring it to air.
Well, you know what? We're going to be able to figure out what the real deal is by how long until he joins us.
That's true.
Was it an emergency? What did Emil have last night for dinner? We'll find out shortly.
It is Friday. Maybe we'll lead the show with that.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it's fun and games for Emil right now.
No.
At all. Okay. Well, we can't really start till he gets here.
No, we'll have to wait. We can stall. We can find out what's coming up on the show.
Yeah, hey, well, let's get that out of the way right now. What's coming up on the show?
So I could do the whole 4 hours on the Dame trade and where Holiday might go. I'm reading reports that Jimmy Butler almost got traded to the Bucks, but Giannis nixed it.
Wow.
It was going to be from Middleton. And but it's funny because Butler knocked out Giannis, sandwiched around the 1 year that Giannis swept Butler. Imagine if they were on the same squad. I imagine Jimmy Butler would have some hardware.
See, not for nothing, but if I were you there, that's such a good nugget. I would have said something like, coming up, I'll tell you where Jimmy Butler almost got traded.
I just gave it all, but I love you guys so much.
I like the content. I'll take it all day long. I'm still intrigued on the backstory.
By the way, this is going to sound like an insult, but it's really a compliment. You guys cover everything that I want to get to.
No, I don't feel like any part of that's insulting.
It's frustrating. I'll be in the car and I'm like, there's no way they're doing that. And then you'll do it.
It's ADD, bro. It's
I know there's
a lot of ADD.
But it's like sometimes I want to have stuff you don't have. I guess that was one of them. But it's a compliment.
Did you talk about the emotional support alligator yesterday?
We did. Yeah? I stole that from you for sure. I actually didn't know about that. I draw the line at alligator. If it kills humans, it can't be a support animal.
I feel like I draw the line a lot earlier than alligators. Like a lot earlier than that.
I didn't say this yesterday, but I was in the store one time and there was I don't know if it was a support bird or not, but someone had like a bird like you would have on your arm.
Yeah.
Not a small.
Right.
I don't know what it was.
Was it a pirate?
Yes, he was a pirate in there. It was a big-sized bird. And he was really having a tough time picking his lane to go check out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing the same thing because I'm like, I don't want to be in your lane.
No.
And he kept moving. I'm like, I'm going to wait till you pick a lane. You go in 4. I'm over here at 8. I just need to be away from this bird.
My ex had a little small dog that was a supporter. But I always wonder, How are they not going to the bathroom, like on the plane or in the grocery store or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you ever hear stories about them going to the bathroom? I don't.
Here's one we didn't get to. You might get to today. I'm not sure. So, the University of Notre Dame.
Yes.
And the big, famous clock tower bell they have.
Yes.
So the guy who's been ringing the bell 4 times a day retired last week. And so they were doing, whatever. It's an honorable position on baseball. So anyways, a bunch of people come in. You just basically have to ring the bell, but they want somebody inspiring. So at one point, one of the applicants that goes up there is like 4 feet tall. Can't barely reach. No, you're laughing. I mean,
I'm not laughing.
But this is somebody who grew up in South Bend, grew up around Notre Dame, wants to do this, right? So he goes, you can't, how are you going to ring the bell? So apparently this guy who was actually super athletic takes a running start, jumps up, and headbutts the bell to ring the bell.
Where did I heard something like that, and then there's a joke at the end of this, right?
So no.
Oh.
Is there?
I thought there was a punchline where it was like
no, this is a tragic story. Okay. He says, if you can do that one more time, I'll give you the job. So the guy runs up to go ring the bell with his head again, and he falls out of the tower and he dies. So at the end, they're asking the older guy, they say, what was this guy's name? Do you know anything about him? He goes, I know nothing about him, but his face rings a bell.
I think I heard it from you. Was that yesterday?
As you were saying it, I think you did say it.
I tried so hard. I was stalling because of Emil. I was stalling.
Well, he's not coming in.
He's not coming in. So Friday Fun and Game starts. Well, it just started about 30 seconds. Starts right now.
Okay, so here we go. Dave, you'll go first. This cat, I don't even know what name this game has. It doesn't need a name. But I'm going to need you to pick a letter between A to Z.
Me? Give me L.
L, and then pick a number between 1 and 4.
2.
Okay, so you're going to have, Chris, what do we say, 90 seconds?
Yes.
90 seconds. You have to start with the letter L and go through the entire alphabet. So you're going L,
M-N-O-P.
Yeah, so that's the challenge for you. But 90 seconds, and you pick number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Band names. So go through that, start the clock, starting with the letter L, a band name. You can pass if you need to. We'll see if you can do it in 90 seconds.
How many am I trying? Or just
L all the way through, 26.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go L to M.
Yeah. Right, I got you.
Let's start. Let's go.
Leonard Skinner, Motley Crue, Night Ranger, OMD,
nice.
Pearl Jam, Quiet Riot, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, nice. Temple of the Dog, Underground of under Uvula, Uptown Funk.
No.
You
can pass.
I'll pass. V. No. Velvet Underground.
Okay.
Winger. Pass.
Okay.
Young MC. Nope.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Y Z Zan Z.
You can pass.
I'll pass.
Okay.
ABBA, Boston, Cutting Crew, Def Leppard, Eurythmics.
Wow.
F. Come on. F. Foreigner.
Okay.
G. Great White.
H.
Hanson.
Nice.
Nice. What a play.
I'll pass. Jet. Camp. Corn.
Okay, back to you. All right, you missed
that was
I,
excellent.
U, X, and Z. When you're going you, when I was doing this, you too.
Ah, come on, David.
But so you missed you. Another chance. You. So you two. How about X?
UB40.
Okay.
Yeah. X. Dream. No, that was when
I don't know what X would be. Z. And when you're going Z, and I'm like Z.
Zeppelin, lead.
ZZ Top.
Right there.
And you were stumped.
Can you do individual people? Like, could you have done Usher for you?
I think I gave him Young MC. So
yeah, he did. Yeah, that's fine.
Because I was thinking of a bunch of solo
God,
artists.
that was stressful.
So Zachariah, you now know how this goes. You're gonna have 90 seconds. Pick a letter.
I'm gonna start with A.
There you go. That was smart.
All right,
that you've seen how it's played, and pick a number between, except for 2, 1 through 5.
3.
3. Okay. Oh, okay. You are gonna get football players. So we need last names, past or present, starting with the letter A. 90 seconds.
Last name only.
I mean, you can say their first name, but the letter we're looking for is A to start with.
But I can do Allen Robinson, wide receiver for the Bears.
We'd want
it has to be the last name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Football player's last name.
After
this
present.
should be easy.
And
I'm going to pass on the A.
Okay.
B, David Boston.
Nice.
C, Chris who's the wide receiver? Bears. No, Chris Callaway, I think. No, yeah, Collinsworth. Yeah, that works. Okay. ABC. D, Eric Dickerson. E, I'll pass. A, B, C, D, E, F. G, Frank Gore. I thought Frank for the F. H, H-I, Isaac Bruce. No, that doesn't work. H-I-J. It's got to be a bunch of Jacksons or something.
Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian Janikowski. H-I-J-K. John Kitna.
Hey,
nice.
J-K-L. L-M. David Montgomery scored 3 touchdowns last night. L-M-N. N. Not the Nigerian Nightmare. That wouldn't count. God, this is hard. L-M-N-O. Something Oliver. P. L-M-N-O-P-Q-R. Get me out of here. I'm choking these, man. I'm telling. I'm choking.
I think you did. I'm fine. It's tough.
Yeah, it is
Patrick
tough.
Peterson. We would have accepted.
Yeah. There's so many. L-M-N-O-P.
All right. Yes. We'll do the last one.
Barry
here
Sanders.
for Christopher Laud.
Christopher Laud.
Christopher Laud, pick a letter A to Z.
Morrissey songs.
You know what? I'm going to go with Z.
Wow. Start there. Okay, Z. And pick a letter. What was yours again? Pick a number between 1 through 5. I'll eliminate if you pick one of the others. So go ahead.
5.
5. Oh, of course he gets this.
What?
Movie titles.
Oh, he's going to
90
kill
seconds.
He's
Christopher
gonna kill
Laud. Go.
Zombieland, American Psycho, Back to the Future, Cinderella, D, Dawn of the Dead, E.T., Forrest Gump.
Oh.
G. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Mm.
H is Hell Comes to Frogtown.
What?
Is it I, Inception. J. Jingle All the Way. K. K. I'm going with
Killing Field.
Pass.
Okay.
L.
Lady in the Tramp.
L. Pass. MacGruber. M.
Yeah, there you go. N.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Which one?
O. 2. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow. P.
Pitch Perfect.
Platoon.
Q.
Quiet Place.
R.
R.
Rambo.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
S.
Saving Private Ryan.
Split.
T.
T is T.
He started out great.
He did.
Only passed on K and L, and then we didn't quite get to the end.
What I like about Chris too is that he was honest, because he could have totally been like, T, touch the star.
Well, whatever. What was the one Frogtown? What movie was
Hell
that?
Comes to Frogtown. Roddy Piper.
Okay.
I believe him for sure.
He sold it.
You under the boardwalk. V. That. Careful. Born Again. That was good. Those ones are
hard. We get 90 seconds. That's hard though. You get stuck into
the tick doesn't help. I would have done much better like when you were going. I think just because it wasn't on me. I choke
like
under
you were
pressure.
rifling the movies out.
Yeah,
you weren't on the clock.
No, that was a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to sleep.
It's the weekend.
Fuzzy pair.
Where was Jimmy Butler almost traded to?
I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned for Zachariah and Emiliano.
Yeah.
If he's out of the bathroom, yeah. Wow. Okay, that's good. For Greg Papa, for Sam Amick again, for David Richard, for Christopher Laud, for Jason Ross, I am Carmichael Dave. Hey, have a good weekend, everybody. Please be safe. We want all of you back +1 on Monday, and we will see you then. And hopefully you'll all have smiles on your faces, because the alternative there is that you will have frowns on your faces, much like the shape of your dog's poop in the background. By background, I mean backyard. And the point is that you don't have the energy to clean up that poop. You don't want to do anything like that. So where do you get energy? American Energy. Are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? It's a sponsor, Dave. It's a good one. We love our sponsors. What happened there is Dave picked the wrong read and now is trying to merge the two. Speaking of two, 32% is what bills could increase from PG&E by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from those rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with the new ultra-high efficiency